Late drive home, empty lane, knuckles wide on the steering wheel. Wear that smile like a shield. Say I'm fine, but I don't feel real. Bills on the dash, open the glove. Family sleeping in the dark. I keep the storm behind my teeth, and I don't know where to start. Thursday night, cigar burns slow on the porch with the boys I know. One more joke, one more lie to somebody says how you been inside. The strongest thing a man can do is say he's not okay. The strongest thing a man can do is speak before he breaks. Some scars don't leave a mark. You don't have to carry it alone. We all break, we all heal, brother. You're not on your own. One hand on the table, one in the dark, laughing while the truth sits still. A hard jaw hides a fractured heart, and a full plate hides the void you feel. The real smoke, the honest talk, between the cuts and the bar stool light. No shame in the words you drop when the room turns kind of night. Thursday night, cigar burns slow on the porch with the boys I know. Say it plain, say it loud. A heavy heart can still stand proud. The strongest thing a man can do is say he's not okay. The strongest thing a man can do is speak before he breaks. Some scars don't leave a mark. You don't have to carry it alone. We all break, we all heal, brother. You're not on your own. You're not on your own. If you're tired, let it show. If you're drowning, let it go. A hand out in the night is not the end, it's how you rise. Asking for help is strength, not a crack in your...
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joshua Coburn, and got something important to talk about real quick, and that's men's mental health. It's kind of a big deal to talk about because us dudes never want to talk about shit, right? We tend to keep it in, to bottle it up, push it down, keep plodding along, keep going, which is important to keep going, to still show up. The problem is that builds up, and it gets heavy, and we already carry the world on our backs for our wives and kids and family. And when it gets too much, talk to somebody. Don't keep it stuffed inside. Call your buddy, call your brother, just get out there and try to have the conversation. Even if it's a text, send it along, tell somebody you're hurting, let them know you just need an ear for a little bit. It's worth it. We all got to do it. That's real strength. Have a good night, guys.
Say it now, say it clear. You don't have to live in fear.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Charles with the Real Smoke Podcast. Oh, wait, it's not that video. Sorry. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your host. That'd be Mick.
Don't use that voice ever again, bro.
Anyways, normal. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your hosts. That be Mick, I be Charles, and this is episode freaking 80, man.
80.
I know it's not 80.
It's awesome. We are 80 of the way there to 100.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Too easy math.
200?
Yeah, 200. 200. 200.
Okay.
Jeez, my math is not that bad. Come on. I've only had one beer.
Can you speak? Make an ease. Come on.
100. Let's go.
100.
This year.
Yeah. I think we're hitting it second week in December. I think we leave for Christmas break, the end of season 4, 101 or 102.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a
All right,
lot.
Guys, before we kick things off, yeah, let's say hi to Cigar Vault. Hi, Norm.
Hey everybody, it's Norm with the Cigar Vault Oakdale, a small boutique shop located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in a small town of Oakdale. So we are talking about a brand new cigar to the humidor, not a new brand to the humidor. We've had Catelli here from the day we launched, really. And the best part is this is a brand new line that they released at PCA called the Modella line. They released both a Habano and a Connecticut version of this. I smoked this at PCA. It was an absolute dynamite of a stick. Matter of fact, I called Johnny 3 Holes from the show floor and I told him, I can't wait for you to try this cigar. 4 puffs in, I placed an order for many, many boxes of this cigar. You do not want to miss out. It's the Catelli, Modella, Habano, and Connecticut release.
You must have the TV on because it looks like it's lightning next to you. And that lightning, maybe it's the lightning from my hat that's coming at you.
Is it bothering you? I was trying to watch hockey a little bit on the side, but I thought it would give me good lighting. No? Should I turn it off? Is it bothering you?
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine.
Let me mention real quick. So Norm's been doing the Don't Be That Guy videos for a while. If you guys have been watching this for a while, you've probably seen quite a few of those ads. We got the attention, maybe not in a good way. After a few beers one night, I decided to comment on one of their posts because they just started doing Don't Be That Guy videos. Holt Cigars. You guys may know Holt Cigars. One of their big wigs reached out and basically said they've been doing those videos for a long time and they have no problem with their creative talent. I pretty much told him he should probably tune in and watch our openers every once in a while if he needs any more thoughts or input on how to do his videos. And it went back and forth a few times. So if you shop at Holt Cigars, maybe apologize for us or me in particular for kind of being a jackass on his Instagram. So just letting you know, it's kind of a little bit of fun. So anyway,
you've got to quit drunk texting different people.
I mean, you did tell me it was a good idea at the time, so I think we both had a few drinks that night. But it is what it is.
Possibly, who knows?
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of drinks,
yeah,
came home to the wife's new gift. She said this one just came out. So liquid death cream Scream soda. It's you can definitely tell it's got some Scream soda in it.
Okay, I like it.
It's not bad.
I like it. That's awesome.
So let's see. We do need to go ahead and talk about a couple of people. We do need to make a couple of announcements. Since the last show we talked about that we had picked up Definition cigars.
We did.
We picked up 2 new ones as well. You want to say anything about those? Maybe
2 people that we really already consider family. It's so awesome that we're actually working together now to continue to build this thing. And we're one of them's kind of on the show tonight, or maybe sitting beside the guy on the show. But Dissident Cigars is now an official sponsor of Meanwhile in Memphis. Thank you. It only took a week to get somebody on that to sponsor my my little spot at the end of the show. And we also have Katie's Cigars. So every time Charles's internet fails, you will see this ad and we'll say something nice about Katie's Cigars. So we love Katie's Cigars. They're great sticks. They're always consistent. Mark is one of our boys. He's been on the show multiple times. And just great people. We're excited to continue building this family. And thank you guys for your faith in us. And let's build this shit together.
So the most difficulties usually happen when there's more than one guest. Mm-hmm. When we have about 3 people, it goes fairly smooth. When we add more than 3 people, it gets a little dicey. So we have 4 tonight. So I may be clicking that button quite a bit.
It's okay. we'll remind everybody about a great cigar company.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about another cigar group. How about Smoky and Cigar of the Month Club? For that price right there, you will get, if you use code RSNew, you're going to get 5 cigars each month. And if you use our code, you're going to get a smoke-in torch lighter and a perfect cutter. Mick found out that this is our 1-year anniversary with them.
Yes.
They have jumped on board with us for a year now. Still loving it. Got my pack in for this month yesterday. So
Mine's waiting for me at home.
Probably need to get that picture out sometime. So yeah.
Absolutely. Excited about that. Yeah. Well, thank you for 1 year though. Seriously, that's pretty awesome, man. They came out of the blue and it's awesome.
Go check them out. We like them. How about some Patreon?
Patreon. Yeah. So for $5 a month, I've been putting this out all week. You guys can join the Ashtray Illuminati. $5 a month, 15% off at Cigar Vault, sticker pack, shout out on IG, name on the show credits, which if you guys noticed tonight, we gained a few in the past week or so. My boy D-Rod from out in California. Hope you're watching tonight, brother. Members only Discord, which we used tonight before the show to kind of give you guys a behind the scenes look. Ask guest questions. Second page of that. Oh, there we go. Sneak peek at guests. Enter to win a quarterly prize pack, which we're actually giving one away this Saturday. So you still have time to join for $5 a month and get in on that. We're giving away a quarterly prize pack, the ability to attend a monthly Zoom HERF, and ability to talk with and ask questions directly to guests, which Hayes Gray has so graciously given up an hour of their Saturday. They really don't have in between 2 events to talk to our Patreon people on our Zoom call. So amazing stuff happening. I'm actually utilizing
this weekend. So.
This Saturday. You still got time? Jump in. Let's go.
By the way, we always talk about our shirts and stuff like that. Here's the new one that's out there. Guys, go check out realsmokepod.com. Order you a t-shirt. We got all kinds of stuff out there. Go check it out. Look, this is the new lineup. This is the new set that's out there. Go check that out.
And real quick, before we move on, can I jump in and say real quick, the Cigar Army shirt, the event's coming up in like 2 weeks, I think, and or a week and a half. Is it this week? Is it this week? Do you know what day it is? I don't know. But that shirt right there, I got to send them some money. Is it this week?
June 13th.
Okay. So you guys need to order your shirt by like tomorrow if you guys want a shirt for that event, or if you just want one, to help support the event. We are doubling whatever we sell on those for shirts for our profit. I got to send Frank some PayPal here in a little bit just to get him that money to help contribute to what they're doing. They're always doing great things for the community. So buy a shirt, help them out.
I'm not going to go into it too much, but I've got to rub it in just a little bit. Current standings right now in Major League Baseball: Braves 42-20, Phillies 32-29. Looks like I'm still in the lead. All-Star break hasn't happened yet, where we will completely fall apart. And all the Braves chats right now, that's what they're saying. Everybody's saying, "Don't live on this." They're going to fall apart. So yeah. Let's talk about tonight's giveaways. We do have 2 $25 gift cards to the Cigar Vault Oakdale to give away. The hashtags are what, good sir?
They are hashtag Real Smoke, which is for anybody who hasn't won this month. And guess what? It's the first week of the month, so first show of the month. So everybody's in for that one. The second one is Real Smoke Pat. Again, for $5 a month, you have a lot better chance of winning something on this show if you join Patreon. Tonight is Real Smoke Pat. Hashtag Real Smoke Pat, and you will be entered to win a $25 gift card, and that is only for our Patreons. So get your name in there.
There we go. Before we go into what we're smoking and our guest, I just completely lost my brain there. That wasn't a technical difficulty, but that was a mental difficulty, and that's brought to you by KD Cigars.
There it is.
So this is we don't want this to be an us show this week. We want this to be an all of us show. So guys in the chat, if you've got stories that you want to put in there or you want topics in there, go ahead and put them in the chat. I will post your stuff up. If you guys just want to chill and chat amongst each other, I'll sit there and watch y'all. So have fun with it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into what we are smoking tonight. Tonight's cigar is brought to you by 13 Knives.
Hey guys, this is Robert over at 13 Knives, and June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and A sobering fact to think about is by the time you finish watching this podcast, an estimated 8 men will have committed suicide. And who knows how many other will have attempted it. But we need to check in on our loved ones. We need to check in on our brothers and our friends. We joke around, we do a lot of things. And a lot of these guys will smile right back at you and say everything's fine. We need to figure out how to dig deeper. We need to figure out how to get help. And if you're also one of those people that are smiling, you know, to everybody, but inside you're just dying inside, reach out, get some help, do whatever it takes. Make it one more day. If today's a bad day, tomorrow will be better. Just one more day. And then just keep doing it and keep doing it. Let's make a difference. Let's make a difference in our friends' lives. Let's make a difference in our community. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Hope I didn't bring it down.
I like that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
Mick,
Trevor.
tonight's cigar.
Tonight, or this past week, because I'm again sitting in a hotel, we smoked the Toro Cigar Company Brazil wrapper. Brazil. Cubra, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Binder. I got it. Binder, Dominican, filler, Dominican, size 6x50. Price is right there on your screen. And again, that's brought to you by 13 Knots.
All right, and about time that we bring them people on. What you think?
I think it's about that time. We got, who's that brought to us by?
Our guest tonight are brought to you by none other than Hayes Gray.
Savor every moment with Hayes Gray Cigar. Each blend is crafted for bold flavor, veteran-inspired character, and premium construction. From smooth and approachable to rich and complex in flavor, Hayes Gray delivers a cigar for every palate. Now available our new release, Irmãos do Mar. Order Hayes Gray Cigars online at Fat Boys Cigars and from Wolfpack Cigar Club and the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. Visit our website for a list of nationwide retail lounges and to grab some cool Hayes Gray merch to rep our brand. As always, we've got your sticks.
And just like that, poof, everybody's here. Let's see. Make sure everybody's mics are on. I got that one. Uh-oh. Turn on your mics, guys. There we go. One's on. Another one's on. We have Josh Coburn with Dissident Cigars, and we got Sean Curtis, Mr. Pew Pew himself. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Welcome.
Stoked to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man. I'm going to just say real quick, and then I'll kind of let you guys go through kind of a little brief introduction. But I wanted to say, I know we kind of talked in the green room, and Charles and I started doing this, about a little over a year ago when we did our first men's mental health. And we didn't know how it was going to go, but we both said to each other, hey, if we affect one life or help one person or get somebody to see a little bit that maybe they need to talk to somebody, we did our job. One person. We're good, man. One person. Like, that's all we care about. And at that point, maybe we might have only had maybe 100 views on a show or something. I mean, but we're still hopeful. And we had 2 people that first show reach out and say, hey, you kind of helped me see through some things, and kind of maybe rethink how I'm carrying the weight of things. And I'd never call people like that out in the show. I just did. It made my year. It made my day. It was just unbelievable to have somebody reach out and say that. And listen, we're not trying to take credit for anything. We just know how guys are. I mean, I'm the same way. I've talked about it 100 times. I'll carry the stress all day just to try to make somebody else's day a little bit better. And but enough about that. I just wanted to throw it out there, man. We greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to do this, because it means a ton to us. Out of all the shows we do, and we get excited for certain guests and different things we have going on, but this one always feels more important somehow than the other shows. So we appreciate you guys taking the time for this.
Absolutely. Stoked to be here, guys.
Heck yeah. Yeah, this is a subject that is very near and dear to my heart.
Well, before we get into that, I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. Josh has been on here with us a couple of times. I'll let him go ahead, jump on first, and Sean after him. And we'll kind of get into it. By the way, guys, there are a lot of people in the chats tonight. So if you see some questions on the screen that you want to answer, you're more than welcome to point them out as I put them up there.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm Joshua Coburn, part owner of Dissident Cigars, among other things, author, speaker, et cetera. For those of you that follow me on social media, you know that I'm the guy that holds up the positive cards and kind of makes sure everybody has a good day. That's kind of been my thing for, I don't know, I guess almost 20 years at this point, probably more than 20 years. So been doing that minus a couple breaks for all that damn time. So stoked to be here. Like I said, Sean.
Yes, sir. Sean Curtis. I am a content producer for Pew Pew Tactical. So I write articles, but primarily star on the YouTube channel for Pew Pew Tactical. And I am a retired police officer, which is where I get my experience with mental health or a lack thereof. And I'll be happy to chime in about that.
Lack thereof, he says. Yes.
Lack thereof. So everybody always talks about June being Men's Mental Health Month, and I know it's to try to get awareness out there, and it's probably to, try to get, we always say check on your friends and things like that. But the one thing that people don't do is, one, if they check on their friends are lying to them because they're not willing to talk, or they just don't check on them. So it's, I understand that the month's about raising awareness. What I'm interested in is this being that month. Why are you guys so interested in bringing that awareness out? Because I know me and Josh have had this conversation about over the years that I've known him. But Sean, what has got you to where, this is something that you advocate for?
Yeah. So, my tours with mental health, up and down like normal life over the course of several decades. And I think kind of reaching the limit of what I was experiencing in law enforcement and having some things happen that were symptoms. They were surface level, they were occurring, and they weren't necessarily in my control anymore. And I was always very in control, very aware of my emotions or lack thereof, because I had cut myself off from my emotions to get through my career. And it wasn't until after I retired that I realized the damage that I had experienced. And so it kind of put me back on a path of, oh, hey, I need to figure this out. I need to figure this out, because there's one thing that I've learned about our health system, and I'm not going to get on a political rant about it, but it's very similar to our mental health system in that you have to advocate for yourself if you want to get anything done, if you want to accomplish anything, if you want to get help. And just by being the first shoe that drops, just by taking that first step, it can make such a huge difference in your outcomes. And I've experienced that within the last year. I've always been passionate about mental health. I've always had a different approach to helping people who were experiencing mental health crises when I was on duty. But I think it comes from my own personal struggles and accomplishments that I'm able to speak about it, and why I'm so passionate about it.
All right. That's I think we could take just that and have like 7 different conversations in itself. Okay, Josh, yeah. What is it that, kind of steered you towards this?
Well, I guess it was kind of an accident, really. It came down to a few things. Like, I felt like I guess, the weird kid growing up, and I always felt kind of marginalized. And it's because I was just interested in different stuff. It's not like I didn't get along with people or I was like super bullied or any of that bullshit. I wasn't. But anyway, at some point, I kind of hit bottom myself in, I think it was 2001, and was ready to check out because I'm just over it, right? For a million various reasons that we can get into. But again, I'm 19 years old, so my mindset today is much different than it was then, especially looking back. So I can interpret it different. But nonetheless, my journey really started there, not with mental health, but with understanding purpose and drive and value and all that stuff. And that's where I didn't know it, but the opposite kind of side of that is negative mental health. And that's, but I was learning the other way because I was coming out of something that I wasn't recognizing as like negative, because at this point it kind of hit me like, shit, if nobody cares about me, or I don't believe so, and I don't even care about myself, I got nothing to lose. So guess what? I can do whatever the fuck I want. And now I can follow my dreams, and people are going to judge me, and who cares, because it doesn't matter anymore, because I could have been dead. And it really made me think I can help people go places and do things and live their life to the fullest. The crazy side effect of that is you catch people at their worst, and then you have to, because here I am starting, a whole releasing books and doing all this shit. And I'm like, how am I qualified? Oh, I'm not. Shit. And then it's like, because you realize there's a whole other side of it. So that's when I got, certified in life coaching and other things, so I could at least have a basis for where to go. And like I said, it was kind of an accident because I wanted to help people kick ass. But I didn't realize that a lot of times the only way to really kick ass and light a fuse is to hit bottom first and then rebuild on that foundation. So that's kind of how it was for me. And I'm still doing it. I'm stoked about it.
Thank goodness. Look how many lives you've touched since, my friend.
Man, thank you.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre to, I actually made a note the other day to do a video because, and I know you guys, because you just talked about it, all of you guys have that weird thing that we get the privilege of having, which is when someone says, hey, without you, I wouldn't be here. You're the one that saved my life. And to hear that once is crazy. To hear it hundreds of times is like, I can't process it with one person, let alone many. And, this is over the course of, 20 years. And I still can't process it. I appreciate it. I love it. But the sheer magnitude of that, and to be that thing for someone who you might talk to regularly, who you maybe have lost touch with, who maybe it was just a moment and that's it. Like, that's insane. And I still can't process those things, but I'm proud to have been a part of their lives and a part of their story. And that's massive. And again, congratulations to you guys as well for being that person for someone or many someones. Huge.
Yeah, I guess that's the cool part about what we do. I mean, literally, we do this show to hopefully give people a release and maybe a laugh and, just kind of a few hours of just having fun with two knuckleheads from Tennessee, that just like to talk about cigars and craziness and whatever's going on in our life. And to be honest with you, it's a release for me and Charles as well, because like we go into these shows, we stress out all week getting all the posts done and getting everything done. And he's doing everything behind the scenes. And it's a second job, 100%. But it's a passion, but the minute we go live every week, it's like we're in our happy place because we put so much work into it. It's like seeing it all come together and having people actually being a part of it is just an amazing thing. But that's what I said, like it's typically just a fun show and we try to have fun along the way and drag some stories out of people that they may not have told to other people. But shows like this really do mean something to us. We absolutely, hey, Doc's on here. No kidding. She did show up. That's cool. Hi, Doc. But no, just being a part of this and having you guys be a part of what, this month isn't about any single one person, but you're right, Josh, just being able to touch a few lives and being able to give back, maybe to somebody that needs it is so important to us.
So I'm curious. This is the one thing I kind of wanted to pick everybody's brains on. And I'm curious, comments too, like chime in. But since this is Men's Mental Health Month, of course, we care about everybody's, but since we're focused there, I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are in terms of what's the kind of number one reason that kind of tip men into that dark place. Is it, is it their job? Is it, marriage problems? Is it past regrets? Is it, reliving their glory days because now they're, 50 and fat and not hitting home runs in high school? Like, what is it that you guys kind of think? Because I'm curious if there's a theme, and I'm sure there's some Jordan B. Peterson study where he could pull that shit out of his ass and tell us, but I'm curious where that lies, because I bet it's fairly the same. It might not be the same specific cause, but I feel like I'm saying it wrong, excuse me. I guess I feel like the results are the same, and it might be, the reason somebody drinks too much or they fight with their wife or whatever, but I think it's the same thing that makes us men kind of do those things. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just curious. What do you guys think?
I think going in it in my head over the last few years, because I've been there a lot, is I think it's the snowball effect of failure. And it may start with you're having a really rough time at work, so you come home in a bad mood over and over again, but you don't realize over and over again you've been biting your wife or your husband's head off, and over the next few months you've bitten their head off more than you haven't, and then it makes them mad and they're taking it out and being snappy with the kids, but all you're seeing is that the kids are being snappy back, so now you're mad at the kids. And then it takes something, maybe a parent passing or something as little as like the kid's pets passing, that's another failure. Or, your kid gets in trouble at school and you're already feeling like you're failing. So now that kid that made that choice is now your failure because you didn't raise them right. So to me, I think it's a mental snowball effect of failure. And the one thing I think that men struggle with, especially men who have families, is if they feel, whether it's their kids, their marriage, or bills and money, because that's another one. They couldn't pay a car payment or a house payment on time, so they're failing at that. I think that once they start seeing or thinking that they're failing their family in some way, I think it just is one thing after another that allows them to keep just rolling in that snowball.
Solid.
What do you think, Mick?
I'll jump in on that. I know I've said this before, but it still hasn't changed for me. I think it's culture and how I was brought up. I mean, honestly, I think I was always taught men don't cry, men don't talk, men just suck it the fuck up and go do it. You know what I mean? And I've tried to get better. I'm trying to get better. I know last time my daughter was on here ratting me out saying I have got better. But I truly think that I'm still, I know I'm not great at it. It's something that I still need to grow at. I just feel like, I can deal with that. I can hold it. And all of that stuff stacks up over time. You're dealing with these little things, but a ton of little things turn into a big thing eventually. And you have that breaking point. And unfortunately, it's usually with someone you love or who you're closest to. So, I mean, I am speaking from experience on that one. So it's definitely not an easy thing for me, but
sure. I'm happy to pick that one up because I have my own personal experience there too. I think so often we find ourselves in a place, particularly if you're of a certain generation, we had the behaviors that were expected of manhood modeled to us, and the only safe emotion that we were allowed to express was rage, right? Like, somebody gets mad about something, you go out and fight in the yard. Somebody gets mad, here's some violence, or throw something, break something, yell at somebody. And that is the only emotion that we're taught that we can safely express. We can't cry at movies, we can't be overly affectionate. A whole host of complete and utter bullshit that is not healthy, and that there have been studies that show how unhealthy it is, even physically manifesting cancer and other things, from bottling up our emotions and not expressing them properly.
Yeah, I same. I grew up in a household that, like, I didn't know that not everyone learned how to patch drywall when they were like 8 years old because they were punching holes in it. And like, that was just like, it might've been dad or my brother or me or whomever, but someone put a hole in the damn drywall at some point out of rage. So I can definitely relate to all that. And I saw in some of the comments too, like death by 1,000 cuts, which Yeti threw out there. I agree with that. And a lot of it revolved around purpose and failure. And I'm with that. I'm with that.
Here's some of the ones from the chat. Josephus says, some days it seems that nothing helps me feel better and nothing does other than time. Having the patience and the knowledge to know that it's only a moment. Living the chubby life says 100% my career, or 1,000%. Doc is on here. Guys, you go, if I'm saying something, you want to say something, just cut me off. That's because I will just read through these. Doc says, same theme, different topical issue. Yeti Built says, typically a combination of many things. Death by 1,000 cuts. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing how this ends and what ultimately gets me down, hopelessness is my main concern and my biggest fallback.
So I'll jump in on that. Hopelessness is such a crazy thing, because I think it impacts us in such a funny way, right? Because we forget that, like, you can battle that in some ways because you're hopeless. So you're not taking the measures like to do that. You open a beer instead of a soda, which is better than beer, or you skip the soda and pop a water because that's better than both those. And that ultimately helps you get through the hopelessness, those tiny little steps. But goddamn, that's a real bitch. And it's hard to talk. Again, if dudes want to talk and your buddy comes over and he's hopeless, do I tell him, bro, pick up water, not beer? Like, is that part of it? How do we talk? I'm not some well-versed bro talker. You know what I mean? So, and I don't rehearse shit. I'm just what it is. And credit to Sean, we actually check on each other fairly often via text, and I love that. But it's not that, right? It's not drink your water. It's always something nice and simple and just making sure things are good. If they're not, we can generally tell, and and we go from there. But I think that's always the interesting thing is when you start to have that conversation, what's that look like? Because dudes don't like to feel uncomfortable, and there's nothing more uncomfortable than holding a crying man, at least the first time. Once you've done that a few times, it changes everything and you understand kind of your role. But starting that is fucking tough. What do you say? What do you say to people who are struggling?
I will jump in real quick. I love that you say that you guys text each other. I know Charles has had a rough 1.5 2 years, man. And literally since we've gotten pretty close, and that's putting it mildly. And there's been many times I've said, I'm really sorry, man. I don't have words for this, but I'm just checking on you. Like and I know, like, almost every morning I get a text message from Aldi. I'm going to call John out on this. I know he's on the show right now. He just says, good morning. And I know he checks on Charles as well. That's great, man. I love hearing from somebody that has, it takes 5 seconds to shoot out a text. And I appreciate everybody in my life that does that. We do that in our cigar group. It's just stuff that we do to check on each other. But I guess my question would be, how sometimes do you guys think we know when we need to check on somebody? Or, I know it's good to be consistent, but like sometimes more than others, somebody might need to hear from somebody. Like, how do we start that conversation? I know we talked about it a few times about starting that conversation, but how do we start that conversation just to reach out to see if someone's good?
Yeah, I think for me, it would probably be a deviation from baseline. Someone over a period of time, pretty much their ups and downs and how they're normally acting. And maybe you see a post that is a little concerning. or maybe they make an offhand comment. Maybe they don't usually use dark humor, but now you're hearing dark humor, and that's a symptom. That's something that should pique your interest. And so when you start collecting a few of these clues, I think that can help you move in that direction and be comfortable with saying, because, right, guys, we equate the expression of emotion with that of the lesser, unfortunately, and that's something that we need to get past. But when you see somebody, especially a buddy that you care about enough that you're seeing these things and you're noticing how different they are, then it's time to say something, and then just check on them. Like you guys said, saying good morning. You may say good morning sometimes and get like a phone call or an enormous text back of, like, holy shit, this is going on in my life. You just never know when you're going to pop that bubble for somebody and be there. And guess what? Just having someone listen, just being, creating that opportunity, sometimes that's enough to bring people off the ledge. Sometimes it's enough to at least, say, okay, well, shit, okay, I feel better about talking about that. And, maybe let me get through this next day. Let me find something else to look forward to. And that's why I think it's so important, building that network, having friends, having people that that are looking out for you as much as you're looking out for them.
Spot on. I feel like there's something like accountability is the word that comes to mind, not necessarily to the person who's struggling, but on ourselves. It's like, okay, I'm aware they're struggling. I'm going to check in today. I'm going to check in tomorrow. I'm going to check in the third day. And then maybe by the fourth day, they're checking in with you. And then it's like, I got to do this. And now I have this minor purpose. I got this little thing. Oh, shit, I didn't hear from him. I wonder if he's now doing okay. And then it kind of can build on itself. It's those little things, man, that go so far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to jump back into the chat a little bit. Doc's on here and says, theme of fearing not being adequate provider. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John's on here. He says, guilt, loss of purpose is what brings him, to those places. Josephus, loss of purpose is a biggie.
Yep. Those are massive. I mean, I feel like, Sean, both of us probably have a million things to say about this because I know we're of the same minds when it comes to how we look at the world and philosophy and stuff. But Jesus, we're built on purpose. We want to provide, we want to give, we want to show up, we want to gather the berries and bring home the meats and make sure the village is surviving. And that's what my job is. And if you don't have that, then what the F are you doing? That's tough.
Yeah, that all goes back to identity. And that is something that is so important to the core of every person. And when that gets shaken for some reason, holy shit, that's a recipe for some struggles, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, life change is such a crazy thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Betty B. Fun says proud of you guys. So she says she's proud. Josephus says hit that like button. Of course, yeah, y'all do that one. Doc is jumping back into one of your all's comments, having the courage to be the man who offers the water.
Yeah, I guess that's playing off what I was saying about beer versus soda versus,
Thank you, Josh, for always being there for Sean and so many other people. Your post helped me too. I will second that one because Josh said he was never bullied. He did get bullied there for a little while, and I got the chance to be the bullier. Josh was in the middle of his hiatus to where he wasn't coming back to Instagram, and he was somebody a year or so before that. I sent him a message and told him how much the cards were doing for me because I needed those. And it just happened to be what he said. One of those cards, I'd seen a few of them, but one of them hit me like a ton of bricks, and, been talking to him ever since. And then they quit. And then they quit. And they quit again. And we had him on a show and basically just put it out there in front of everybody and said the same story and said, when are you coming back? I don't know. When are you coming back? Yeah. So for his birthday, I did the whole card thing for him. and did one where it just,
Nice.
pulled a different card for every time. And I did a Joshua.
Thank you.
So, and he's back.
Yeah, well,
And
and I can
great.
speak to that a little bit. We're talking about purpose here, and this is perfect for that, because that is my purpose: being good for people, leaving a legacy of positive things for human beings is what I'm here for. That's it. And my hiatus, which I did back in like 2009 or something as well. I took like a year off, right? But I did because my purpose was needed elsewhere. My family was in turmoil because of health issues and other personal issues. I needed to get my focus there. I needed to get my own shit right, because if I was to show up and start offering something positive at that time, I felt inauthentic about it. Not because I didn't need it, but because I wasn't feeling it. And I needed to be able to show up in a way that was completely authentic through and through. And it's crazy because the time that I was on, and we talked about coming back and stuff, really was a catalyst in some ways for coming back. But prior to that, I was back in the gym. My family was on a much better track health-wise. I knew that I could kind of get back to this guy, right? Focusing here, because I think a lot of people forget that nobody can drink from an empty cup, and you can't give from that empty cup either. So I needed to refill that cup, and I started back in the gym. I started refocusing on myself. I kind of realigned my purpose, and that did allow me, your guys' kind of encouragement allowed me to understand, like, okay, it's still there. I still need to do this for you, but for me first. And if I'm going to do this, that's part of my steps I need to take. And that did bring me back into my purpose alignment. And I'm thankful for that. So again, you guys allowed me to get back to where I needed to be fully. I was started the journey, but I wasn't running yet. And I was just maybe in a slow jog. And now you got me back on that track running, which is awesome. But I think that's a big problem. Thankfully, I had been through shit before. So I knew that if I'm going to crash and burn and light the fire, I'll celebrate around it. And after I'm done dancing and the fire goes out, I got to implement the tools to get back on track. A lot of people don't have those tools, which we should probably touch on. But it's like, how do you get on track if you're off track? It's one thing to have a bro be like, dude, are you doing all right? It's like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Got through this. Now you're a month later. What's that mean? Are you still a fucking mess? Are you still sitting in the garage having 85 garage beers and, pissed off at your life, or what's happening, and how do we change that? For me, it's a matter of purpose. It's a matter of setting the goals again, because now I don't have this anomalous health thing to deal with. Look at that garage beer. Nice. But yeah, the second I could redirect all that into the funnel, I was back on track. But again, I knew how to do that because I've been there before. But how do other people do that? How do guys who've never done it do it?
That's a great segue, man. I will also say that I've recently got back in the gym, and until I just screwed my back up a couple weeks ago. But I've been back in the gym. I feel a lot better. If you're not healthy, you're also not going to. I feel you can't be in a great mental state if you're not also healthy as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely the two tie hand in hand. But I spend so much time focusing on my career and trying to keep things right for other people. It's sometimes hard to think about yourself. But that hour and a half in the gym, a couple times a week, just getting back on track, it made such a difference in my mind, in my mindset, and my well-being. To be able to focus on the other things a little bit better, I feel. But I also, Josh, real quick before we move on, if it's not John texting me or Charles texting me or something in the cigar group, I have scrolled Instagram for 5 minutes before getting my head right going into work, and I see a card that hits me on something that hit me that week, man. And you are spot fucking on, bro. You do a great job, man, and I appreciate it. It's definitely made me rethink some things, and I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Mick and I, it's weird. We end up thinking a lot alike. We end up doing things a lot alike. And he was talking about getting back in the gym, and he mentioned, the last year and a half has been really rough. And in the last year and a half, between all the members of my family passing, like 5 of them or 4 of them, and then one of my close friends passing, and then Jennifer's mom just recently passing. It was one of those things where it was like every time you turned around, something bad was hitting you. And I really wasn't taking care of myself. And it wasn't until I had that, that 6 month go to the doctor, get your blood work kind of thing, step on the scale, and I saw 300 or 270 pounds and on this past February. And it to me, it was another one of those things. It was another thing in my life that just kicked me in the face.
Mhm.
And I just remember sitting through the entire doctor's thing, not even knowing what was being said, because all I was doing was beating myself up over that. And I got back to my car and I just sat in a parking lot and it's like, I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes. And I don't know what happened. I hit something on TikTok, I think, and it was a TikTok shop that came up, and it was somebody on a treadmill. I bought that treadmill from that parking lot and said, when it shows up, I'm going to walk an hour a day and I'm just going to see if it makes a difference. So February 2nd, 270.3, I think it was, pounds. Today's weigh-in, 240.0.
Good for you, man.
Wow, hell yeah. That's awesome.
And watching that, and I used ChatGPT to log everything, the distance, the steps, and I told it on there, I need you to be my coach. So it talks to me, it gets down on you, it asks you about your food and all that stuff. And it's become another virtual friend that's been able to be on there and be like, okay, you've got to walk, you've got to do this. And being able to watch that, it started being that success point.
Mm-hmm.
I was achieving something again. So going into what can you do and what can you look to try to help bring you out of this, that was what started me on that journey.
Mm-hmm.
So for you guys, what are some things that if you're struggling with whatever it is, alcohol, drugs, bad relationship, and it's beating you down, what is something that people can do to try to refocus their mind, to try to get their mind right, to try to get into a better place?
What do you say, Josh?
I know you're chomping.
Do it.
I'll
These
jump
are
in,
the
man.
tools. You said tools.
Yeah,
These are the tools we need.
I'll be happy to jump in. For me, it's trying to find what is the causal root, because for most of my career as a man, I have been pretty oblivious about sometimes my motivations, why I'm feeling the way I do, the emotions that I'm having, that they've just been like a mystery. And I'm just going through life and I'm doing things. There's certain behaviors that I'm exhibiting. And I didn't really stop and have some introspection and just try to figure out what the hell is going on. That you got to identify the problem first. Like if you're drinking too much, maybe stop and look at that and think, okay, well, what's going on? Sure, it's fun. Sure, it feels good at first, and then the next mornings are usually kind of rough. But you get into that cycle where you're constantly doing things, and that feels good. But very often we're displacing, right? We're not treating what's actually bothering us. And so for me, I think the important thing is, how do you figure out what it is? And sometimes it's easy enough to talk to family or maybe friends. You got to have those close friends. I mean, we all have friends, and then we have real friends, the people who will say shit to you like, hey man, you're screwing this up, you need to fix this, like that's too much. And having those friends are a huge value. And if you can't have a network that's able to help you figure out what's going on, then get professional help. I mean, talk to a counselor, find a therapist that you can speak with and say, hey, here's what's going on with me. And I think being able to use those tools to figure out what's causing the issue in the first place is the first step you have to accomplish before you can even think about a treatment plan or figuring out how to change things.
Hell yes. Yeah, I think that's what us as men are best at, is not looking at the root cause.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if there's anything we're good at, it's that. Because
right.
You know, and I did so much shit that trying to figure out the thing, right? Because as dudes, it's like we want it fucking simple. It's like, no, there's a thing. This thing that day, you know, January 4th, 1984 is when I went off the rails, and it was this. Like, but it's not that. It's a compounding of various things, and having
right.
to suss that out it's tough, and that's a whole other thing we have to wrap our mind around that can be overwhelming and it's depressing and all the things. So it's crazy the kind of mindset, the strength that you have to put forth to kind of, number one, be vulnerable with yourself and honest with yourself, and then try to get that across to a buddy or family or whatever, and then choose to take the steps on that journey. That all that takes massive cojones to do, and understand that that's the undertaking you're going to have. But the cool fucking thing about that to me is once you climb that mountain and you get up there and you realize you've done it and you can see the path and you look at the vastness in front of you and all the other mountains that now you have the confidence to know you can climb the bigger ones too. And then you set forth on that. God damn, I wish I could tell the people at the bottom that exists. And if they've been there and they fell back down and have to reclimb it, that's a different thing, because your mindset in that valley, because you've been over the peak once, your mindset in that valley is all different. You're a different warrior. You're not some drunk piece of shit. You're putting on your fucking gear to climb that mountain, and you know you're going to do it no matter what it looks like. And that's the best thing. Once you have summited one time, once you know what you're capable of, holy shit. And I think a lot of people think that our great achievements define us. I disagree. I think it's our absolute lowest in admitting that we've been there and we held on to them and we carried them up a mountain peak and got through it all. That's what defines us. That's where our courage comes from. That's where our strength comes from. That's what matters. And I just wish people at the bottom could understand, look, if you fucking get there, it's going to change everything, no matter what comes after.
So that's so true.
So in the lead up song, and I said this in the video and I said it to our Patreon members, I said the intro is the song is going to be worth it. And I worked a lot yesterday trying to come up with different lyrics to put into the song. And the one that kept sticking out to me was the strongest thing a man can do is that he's not okay. So the first thing that we just talked about is we got to have the tools to be able to say that you're not okay. But you also need to realize you're probably not going to be able to do this alone. You need a support system. So let's go into that. You said it yourself, Josh, then you need to tell a buddy. All right. So first thing is understanding that, there's something going on. Now you need to talk about it. How do we go about talking about it? How do we go about finding that support system? Either one of you.
Yeah, I would say that, trust is going to be crucial. Men are so guarded with their emotions. We operate on that surface level all the time. And if you really want to open the hood and peel back some layers and start sharing and talking with friends, you've got to have someone that you absolutely trust who is not going to make fun of you, or if they do so in a loving way that you understand and are consensual with. but hopefully not make fun of you, allow you to share, and then hopefully even if they just listen to you, I think number one, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But Charles, to answer your question, I think for sure it has to be someone that you absolutely trust. If you're gonna go into the act of revealing things about your innermost thoughts and feelings, then that's important. Yeah, it's got to be somebody close.
I will say, I'm sorry. I will say that, yeah, I agree completely. I every time we do one of these shows, man, I sometimes forget I'm on it because I'm listening to you guys. Like, you know what? I think they're talking about me. You know, it's crazy. And I do know that Doc Christine is actually excited because I'm moving back north again, so she gets her test subject back. She's been analyzing me for years, so it's super weird, you know. But I know she'll eventually crack it, I think. But no, I agree completely. It's got to be somebody that you obviously feel comfortable with, and I hope everybody has that one person they feel they can reach out to. And if you don't, like I've said this 100 times on the show, by far we are not professionals at this. But if you just need an ear and you're listening to this tonight, shoot us a message, man. We're not hard to find. You know, I mean, like we're not going to give you advice like on specific stuff because that's not who we are. But we have an ear for you at any point in time that you need somebody, because we want to be those people. You know, we want to reach out and hopefully touch a few lives, and maybe this gets through to somebody. It touches me every time we do one of these shows, and it's awesome because it makes you feel like you're not alone in this. You know what I mean? Because I think we all carry the weight differently. I'm pretty good at leaving work at work and separating my two lives, but every time we have one of these shows, I'm like, shit, maybe I do carry more of this than I think, because it's exactly what I don't I guess verbalize it very well sometimes what I deal with on a daily basis. I leave it at work, but it's still that weight that you carry. You know, you don't really think about it until you talk about it, like on a show like this. So you guys, you said about talking to people, obviously reaching out. What other things would you guys pull out of your toolbox that you think could help people that are listening to this show or will listen to it in the future?
Well,
I got something I want to add to my question.
Oh,
is finding that support system. You know that you're having issues, you know that you're having problems, but is it also important to know what you need from that person? Do you need to go to that person that's your buddy or whatever and say, I need somebody to just listen. I don't want advice right now. I need to listen. Or do you need to go in there and say, listen, man, when I'm screwing up, I need you to treat me like a kid and tell me you're messing up. I need you to be 100% honest with me. Or do you need to recognize that you may be a little too fragile to hear that right now and be able to be honest back? Because you're asking a lot from somebody to step up. And, you know, the comment that we had on here, we are all our brother's keeper, has a very deep meaning to me. Words I try to live by every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're asking for someone to be that person to you, you also need to try to get a little more honest with them and tell them exactly what you need. Even if you, I mean, or do you may not even know what you need.
all of that. I think all that's good. I think knowing is great. If you know, we should share. If you don't, then hopefully they'll just listen, you know, and you'll figure out what you need, often through just verbalizing things, just getting it out. And, you know, the light bulb seems to go on if we babble on long enough. But I want to kind of, I guess I'm going to tell a short story, but it's because I think sometimes being the other guy, like we're talking about finding somebody to trust, yada, yada. And if you don't have them, then what? And, you know, of course, anybody can reach out to all of us, but how does that work? And sometimes it's as easy as just striking up a conversation. I remember I was in Indianapolis at a cigar lounge, which the subsequent evening, Sean and I ended up conversing at for many hours. And that evening I was sitting there just checking it out because cigar lounge, right? And I went alone, and there was a dude sitting next to me who was also alone, and he was having some drinks and a cigar, and he was missing a leg. And of course, I'm the guy that's going to fucking ask about the leg, right? And I asked, and he lost it, you know, fighting over in the sandbox. And that, you know, brought out a lot of real conversations, real tears, real hugs. And I just listened. What do you say to that? I didn't know this guy, but he needed to talk, so he talked. And I'm not good with that anyway. Like, I'm kind of do I do something with my hands right now? Like, I don't know. But I did know that if I just sat there and smoked my cigar and listened, that was probably enough. And it was enough. And the cool thing is that I started since then is I often wear NFW watches. And this isn't necessarily a plug for them. I bring up that name because their watches are like a mid-range watch. They're not like, $10, but they're not a Rolex. They fall in between there. And the reason that matters is because I wear them a lot. I have a lot of them. And this guy's like, dude, sometimes I wonder, is it my time? Am I done? Is it my time? And I remember him saying that. And it was crazy because for whatever reason, I took off my watch and I handed it to him. I'm like, put this on. And every time you wonder if it's your time, look at it, remember this conversation, and know it's one more time. And the fucking crazy thing about that is I don't know why I did that or where that came from, but that's what happened. And the cool thing is I've had the same conversations with my sons and gave them watches as well. And now it's kind of become that thing. If I know somebody needs that reminder, whether I know them or not, I want them to know that it's not your time. It's not. Now is not the time. One more time. And that was just one of those crazy things where it's like, holy shit, I don't even know this guy. And here we are 2.5 hours deep into conversation. Yeah. In a city that I'd never been to, and he's walking away with my watch. They're like, whoa, what a crazy thing. But I heard from him like 2 weeks later, and he was doing good, and he reestablished contact with his daughter and some other things. Like, what a wonderful thing. And I guess I'm not sharing that story for any kind of glory. I'm sharing it because I think often we forget that sometimes the opening to that, like we discussed earlier, is the good morning text or holding a door at the supermarket or generalized kindness in public. If you're having coffee at the coffee shop or whatever, like here, there's tons of opportunity for it. In America, I think there is too. I think there's simple little things that you can do that open the door to communication that, 9 times out of 10, it's just a pleasantry and everybody's happy and got to smile, etc. But maybe that one time is going to change somebody's life. And if you're there to provoke it or receive it or both, what a joy, what an honor, what a chance to live your purpose,
Absolutely.
So if you have that feeling that someone's struggling and you're trying to open that door, for most guys are going to feel awkward about going up and addressing that their buddy's got an issue. How do you cut that down to make it a little less awkward and not kind of put your buddy on the spot?
Well, one thing that I would throw out is, aren't men supposed to be brave? I mean, that's kind of one of the things that we hold. Men of a certain type hold the value of being brave. If you're concerned about offending, think about the alternative. What might happen if you don't say something? We've all lived with regret. And Charles, going back to your earlier questions, the specificity of what to ask, like, should I listen? Should I give feedback? I think, we're trying to coach both sides of this situation. We're trying to help people who are maybe need to talk to somebody, and we're also trying to help people who are maybe in their network, somebody who's their friend and who wants to listen and doesn't necessarily have the tools. So I appreciate, the opportunity to delve into this, because I think it's so important to listen without judgment. And when you're, the best way to know if you can trust someone is to go ahead and trust them. And then take baby steps, move slowly with the conversation. And, if things get too raw, you can always just listen. You don't have to have an answer for everything. Sometimes just listening alone is really going to help out. And So I think be brave in that sense. If you value your friend, if you value their friendship, be brave, help them out. And you never know. I mean, so many of us, we all know that there's a male epidemic of loneliness, right? And it's because we so often get locked up in our heads and don't communicate all this shit that's going on up there. And we're quietly suffering and not saying anything. So if you even have an inkling that you have some of that going on, which most of us do in and out from day to day, you can assume it's a pretty safe bet that other people are too. And so even just that simple good morning, like we keep going back to, or a heartfelt, like how are you really doing, man? Like what's going on with you? You never know. There may be a deluge that comes out as a result of that.
Yeah, I will say, I know I don't talk about my career much on here, but these last 2 weeks, I was kind of put in a situation that was it was a tough situation. You know, I was put into a spot where I had to fix a lot of things, and all new people, and put in this spot for a reason. And I've realized one thing: I'm very comfortable at this point in my life and in my career. I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, I've gotten very good at being put in these situations and finding a way through it, and turning it into some kind of success story. You know what I mean? Like I've had to do it many times, and I'm proud of what was accomplished this week. But I guess what I also realized on the backside of that is, you know, people really respect people being honest with you, with them, and really being blunt about stuff that you feel will make them better. And I really hope they look back at some point and say, you know, that was a turning point in their career, or, you know, it's something that helped them out with just being blunt and honest with them. There were so many times in my life, you know, learning my career and also just in life in general, that I beat around the bush about stuff. And I really think that's something to be learned from this, you know, that we all need to be, especially if it's someone you consider a friend, you got to be honest with them. And I know sometimes you got to tiptoe a little depending on the situation, but man, I respect somebody who's blunt and honest with me. Like, bro, you're fucking up. Like you really need to reevaluate. You know what I mean? Put me in check. If I'm messing up that bad that you're seeing it from afar, I need to know about it. And I really think that's something, just being that blunt, honest human sometimes, is what we all need to keep us in check.
Yeah.
So
right
can
on.
we go into the next little area that I think a lot of guys struggle with? One, I think it's hard for us to communicate with our buddies, because you talked about being brave. So the reverse of that is feeling weak. So we struggle with feeling weak about talking to our buddies about getting this, but it's easier than talking to your wife about it. Because the next part is, you know, you've been struggling, you've been quiet, you've been distant, you've been snappy, and she's probably asked you 1,000 times what's wrong. And as guys, what do we say? I'm okay. Nothing. It's good. So how do we get to that point to where we can actually sit down and talk to that significant other about, okay, so this is what's been going on. What are the tools that we need to be able to do that?
I have some very specific experience with this line of questioning, counselor, if I may.
Let it rip, Tater Chip.
So when I got into law enforcement, I was 20 years old, and I met my wife on a rather violent call, and we started dating and then got married a few years later. And for the longest time, I protected her from the things that I went through at my job. Bad calls, critical incidents, getting shot at, you know, the kind of things that you should absolutely come home and talk to your spouse about. And what did I do? I stuffed it down. And that went great for about 10 years. And then we relocated. I had a life change. I wanted to go back to school. And so I followed that path. And when I got out of law enforcement, I had a bit of an identity crisis because suddenly the thing that had given me purpose for so long was gone. And what happened next was nothing short of amazing. All of that shit, all of those calls, all of those bad evenings, all of the fear, all of the uncertainty, it all came up. And it was bad. It was bad for a while. And I sat there and I unloaded on my poor wife, who had been loving and supporting that whole time and had been willing to be there with me and for me the entire time. I did not give her the opportunity to show me that she was fully capable of dealing with everything that I was going through. And so I made that decision, and it was fucking wrong. And, you know, I have an amazing relationship with my wife. She is my best friend. I tell her everything. And when it comes to emotion, particularly, like I went back in, I got back into law enforcement, and things even got worse from there. But I was so much better off because I had my rock steady partner right there next to me, and I would come home and I would say, okay, here's what happened today. Here's what I'm working on. You know, I might be a little short, you know, maybe impatient, but here's what's going on. So, you know, opening up the lines of communications was in some ways for me, it wasn't bravery. Like I did it in crisis, right? Like I was going, holy shit, I can't stop saying all of these things that I have stuffed down for 10 years. And so that's a cautionary tale, but it's also should be somewhat heartwarming because again, I go back to the idea of, uh, you know, if you've had some reason to think that your spouse wouldn't be supportive of you, then maybe it's time to sit down and have a conversation and say, look, I've got some things that I really need to share with you. And I want to know that either I'm not going to be ridiculed or I'm not going to be judged or I'm not going to have things thrown in my face. I don't know what would cause you. You know, each person has to make that decision. What is their spouse going to say if they lay some heavy shit on them? And I think if you're at that place where you're not trusting of that situation, then you need to have another conversation and say, look, I really need to share some stuff with you. Can we just have a conversation about that and be open and honest with each other? Uh, I, Now that I have lived my life the right way with my spouse, I would not go back to the other way. It's ridiculous. You know, you're two adults and you signed the deal, man. You said, yes, I do. And for better or health, better or worse, or sickness and health, and put some effort into it, you know, support each other. And if I would say, honestly, if you don't feel like you can share with your wife, then you need to fucking fix that. You need to fix that. And it may not be fixable. I'm hopeful that it would be, but man, I'll tell you just a quick story to illustrate my point. When I moved into this house, when we moved to Austin, Texas, my neighbor came over to me and he said, I would see him out in the yard quite a bit. He said, you're going to see me out here because my wife is inside. Right. So all three of you immediately knew what I was talking about, right? I don't know what the issue is specifically because I lost a lot of respect for the guy. You know, it's like, okay, one, you've either married a shrew, or two, uh, you're not being honest and you're kind of dragging your wife in front of me. You know, like I married an amazing woman, and I would not say anything untoward to some stranger that just moved into the house next door. Man, your home is your peace. It should be the one of the sources of your peace. And you know, I know that we're kind of delving on men's health, but we're also kind of pushing into a relationship here where that needs to be solid. That's important. Not everybody has that, but what I'm saying is, if you do have a spouse, then man, get that relationship right.
So I guess in the interest of transparency, I'll be honest and say that, we're talking about sharing emotions and being brave about sharing the emotions. As a dude, where I struggle the most is, what are my emotions? What am I feeling right now? I would say that I'm mostly pretty even keeled, pretty indifferent almost. And I don't mean that like nonchalant, I don't care. I just mean like, I'm happy to be here. Like, let things play out as they may, is how I generally look at things. That doesn't mean that's how I generally am. and that's a contradiction, just simply because I struggle with understanding inside me, what am I feeling? Oh, is it this? Oh, is it that? Where's my therapist emotion wheel so I can point at the thing that I'm feeling, because I have no way to describe it. And I know that I'm not alone in this, which is why I'm bringing it up. I know dudes that are always like, bro, I don't know. Like, yeah, I lost my job, but I hated my fucking job. I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills, but God, I hated my job, so I feel fucking great. But now I'm conflicted because of this, and I don't have the job. And, like, how do I feel about it? Fuck, I don't know. And I think that's where I'm at a lot of times when it comes to things. Like, no, I'm sure that this is how I feel and this is how I'll move forward. I'm very confident in those things because I know what I need to get done. But what's the problem in that? I didn't take the time to say, hey, how am I feeling? Because to me, that's never mattered, right? I've always been like, no, I got to go do this and take care of this shit because X happened. But I never learned or taught myself how to identify what it is that I'm feeling. And again, I hear this from dudes pretty constantly via DMs or whatever. Like, dude, I don't even know. Like, it's like, well, wait, they do know something, and they're pissed. We all of us dudes know about that. But the other feelings, I don't know. Like, that's what I hear a lot. And I can jump into that. A lot of times I have to really dive in or sit with a cigar and just be like, where am I at, bro? Because I don't know with myself. So I guess I'm tossing that out only because I'm hoping to hear kind of how do other dudes do it, because I still struggle to figure that out other than silence and like staring at the ocean at night with a cigar and the dogs. Like, that's where I have to kind of get it.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's something I struggle with as well. Besides anger, I really don't know how to verbalize a lot of what I feel on a daily basis. We just carry it, and and again, I go back to this every time because it's me. It's how I was brought up. And I've talked about it on every one of these shows we've done. That's the hardest thing for me, is because I've learned to carry it and learned to hold it and not put it on someone else. I mean, and I think I'm a lot better, like I said, than most people at compartmentalizing and kind of keeping everything where it needs to be. But at the same time, there's days where I don't know why I'm in such a funk, because you learn to carry it. And it's how a lot of it, how we were brought up. It keeps coming back to that. For me, that's exactly every time we have these conversations. It's everything about how I was brought up and how my dad was a strong man, and he really raised me to be a strong man, and strong men carry their shit and they move on. You figure out how to deal with it. But I know we were kind of getting into it there. So anything from you guys' toolboxes that you think, even for me personally, because again, every time we do one of these shows, I feel like we're talking about me to some extent. Like how do you guys, what else can we pull out of the toolboxes that we can use on a regular basis to kind of, help people along and really kind of figure out what they need to do to be maybe get in a better space?
Well, I'll throw out the things that worked for me back in the day when I was really at my worst. And this is post identifying the problem, right? So this is after that. It's like, what do I do now? For me, it was write it down, wrote the shit down. Because I didn't have anybody. I didn't feel like I had anybody, but I got it out, right? It's on paper. And now I can see it. It's not up here. It's not in here. So now it's on paper. Then it's like, okay, what am I going to do about it? How does this matter today? It's here on paper. So then I wrote down the 3 things that I was going to accomplish in this lifetime that mattered more to me than anything else ever in the world. And what were they? And I wrote them down, and I started on that path that day. I quit my job, which maybe isn't the best way. I did have a second job, but I quit the job that I hated and started on that path. And really, that's where the purpose comes in. So, and I still to this day kind of do that. I have lists in my phone that I go through every week and kind of know what I got to do and how to kick ass and get there. So it was as simple as really getting it out of me and then starting to write down the path, right? Whatever that's going to look like. And we write down the goals, the mountain peaks, but it's the path that matters. So understanding, okay, you have your peak. Now, what are my daily steps that I'm taking? So you're not biting off too much. And again, if you're going to the gym, if you want to go to the gym, lose weight, this is just an example, but it's not, okay, well then I'm going to run 5 miles in the morning. I'm throwing out all my junk food and I'm getting a gym membership tomorrow afternoon. You're going to fail, period. You're going to be overwhelmed in 3 days. You're going to quit. You're going to go back to whatever it was you were doing. You got to decide, okay, I'm going to eat better. And then decide for one fucking meal, I'm going to have the thing that I should have, and then I'm going to have everything else I always do. Then it moves in a week to 2 meals. And then you decide maybe because you're scared to death of being overweight and going into the gym with all the gym bros and you don't want to look like a dumbass. So you just drive there, sit in the damn parking lot, look at it, see who's coming in and out. Maybe it's not all buff gym bros. Maybe it's a lot of heavier people that are starting anew just like you, and that'll make you more comfortable. Then maybe you go in and talk to them about it. How do things work? Take those baby steps so you can climb that mountain. You can't summit in one leap. So if it takes you 10 weeks or 6 months or, 5 years, so be it. But write that shit down and get going. That's what it did for me. That's the only way.
So if we take everything back in order about what we talked about, first we need to figure out what's going on. We need to figure out what's bothering us, what is keeping us down. 2, find someone to talk to. Talk with your buddies, find you a support system. And I would say at the same time, 2A would be find your support system. 2B would include your spouse into that support system. 3, going into what Josh just said, write down everything. Make a note of what's bothering you and then start working on that day on at least one item of how to fix it. So where are we at now? We've realized that we've got something going on. We've hopefully found a support system. We're listing things that we need to do to get past this. The hardest thing is actually doing it. So let's talk about that. We have to actually start. We have to have somewhere to start, but we have to figure out what's going to motivate us to keep going, to not stop. How do we do that?
This is an interesting one. Motivation is, it actually was part of my old business and tour that I used to speak on. Now, I would never use the word motivation because it's never been about motivation. It's completely fucking irrelevant. And because there's days I'm not motivated to do shit, but I show up and I do that shit. Mm-hmm. And if it were about motivation, amazing records wouldn't have been put out. Amazing bodybuilders wouldn't be ripped. Amazing dads wouldn't be putting money in the bank and food on the table if it was about motivation. It's about something else. And where do we get that is the question, right? Where does that come from? And what is it? Is it discipline? Is it drive? Is it both? Is it just understanding that, once you've hit bottom, you gain that mindset that nothing is crushing you again, and you know how to manage that. but you have to get there first. And I do believe that to be the case, because there's certain men whose hands you shake, Sean being one of them, that you know when you look at them and you feel that handshake that dude's been there, seen some shit, and he's got some things to say that matter, and I better fucking listen. But how do we get there?
Yeah.
And I think, again, my 2 cents is that it is about understanding, like, I hit bottom, and it was so bad that I don't want to be there again. And I refuse with everything in me to allow that. So I will do the thing, whatever it is. Eat better, go to the gym, whatever the thing is, that's that next step. Even when I don't want to, that discipline, because I don't want whatever I had and I don't want to feel that thing again. I think it takes that most times to get to whatever it is. And I don't think it's motivation, because motivation means that you're ready and you're excited to do something. And most of us aren't, especially in that stage.
Bro, I can't agree with you more, man. Some of the best days I had in the gym were days I absolutely did not want to fucking go. Some of the best, like at the end of it, I was like, man, I'm glad I went, and it was awesome. And some of the best shows that Charles and I have had were days that both of us were like, holy fuck, we're just not feeling this today. And at the end of it, we're like, man, do we feel fucking, that was a great show. So glad we did it and whatever. Like, there's just, you gotta, and again, it's going back to just, I think, determination, or however, just wanting to push through whatever you're dealing with that day and go get it done, because it's what we do. But I agree. Motivation probably is the wrong word. I've never thought about it that way, man. That's a brilliant insight. That'll stick with me for a while, man. How about you, Sean? What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Sometimes we find ourselves with issues about identity, and you'll go along a path for a while, and you're just kind of doing what's comfortable. You're going through life, and suddenly you look down, you're 50 pounds overweight, or 100 pounds overweight, or you've been drinking, or you're not nice to your spouse. I mean, there's a number of behaviors that we exhibit that if we deeply delve down and think about our identity, maybe that's pretty far off skew of how we see ourselves. And yet when we do, we can look at that, see the difference, and then say, you know what? I'm buying a treadmill. I'm going back to the gym. You're closing the loop between where you intended and where you ended up, and there's any number of reasons why. Sometimes it's psychological. We're not dealing with things, and so we placate those feelings inside with other things, with food, with alcohol, with sex. I mean, you name it. There's a number of things that you can get into and just kind of bury those feelings away and not address them. So, but I think that one of the key issues for me is just the identity of reminding myself, come on, man, this is not you. This is okay. You let yourself go a little bit. Let's get things straightened back up to where we were.
Yeah, right on. You're always so gentle with how you say it. I'm always like throwing hammers, man. And you're just like, man, maybe you just need to come back and get centered and be here. I'm like, beat the shit out of that nail and get your ass to the gym.
Yeah.
Difference in approaches. We have our own audience, right, Sean?
Yeah. No, but you personalize that message, don't you? I mean, right. What's it going to take to get you back in? Yeah, I'm not always gentle with myself.
Right. Yeah, well, that's a great topic right there. Like, how many of us had to teach ourselves that the voice in our head isn't made to call yourself a dumbass 1,000 times a day. Right. Tell you, like, Jesus Christ, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Again? You're doing this again? Like
Yeah.
how often, like I remember what I used to repeat to myself as a younger man, and it's definitely not what I repeat to myself today.
Right.
And I mean, my little cards are really public indicators of what is going on inside of me. So that's out there. But yeah, boy, what a difference that makes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a hard thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I'm going to share a story with you guys real quick. I think this kind of hits the nail on the head, but just talking about being unaware of, the internal feelings, the emotions, and things that are going on. Um, Before I retired, I worked as a district attorney investigator, and I did a tour through SVU for 5 years. And what's funny about that, part of my philosophy throughout my life has been that I'm built for big things, and so even even the normal amount of man bullshit of we carry our load, right? Like I took that to another extreme because at work I would go through and be trying to solve everyone's problems, right? That's kind of what you do to some degree. But as a DA investigator, I found myself splitting time between property crimes and someone who had been sexually violated. And that just didn't seem right to me. So I made the request to my chief at the time. I said, hey, I would like to be the single investigator for this unit. And we had 4 or 5 prosecutors. We had a victim advocate assigned to the unit, and then I became the investigator. And over the next 5 years, I handled every child molestation case, every sex assault from infant to geriatric, and felony child abuse. So a lot of child porn cases and the worst dregs of humanity and the worst predation of other people that you can possibly imagine. And Mick, buddy, I held my chin up and I got right through it. And I'm sure you could relate to this, but I did not break. I made it through until the day that I didn't. And it was a case where a young lady had been assaulted by her father, and I mean very young. And we had to prosecute the case, and we spent probably a year on the run up. So me in a suit at a park, swinging on a swing and playing on monkey bars and just, relating to these children and getting to know them a little bit and, helping to build that trust and then go through the pendency of the case. So quite a bit of time invested here, constantly meeting with, and then we lost the case. And I was in a restaurant with some other investigators. I was with my wife. I'd had a couple drinks, but I was relatively sober, and I just started crying in the middle of a restaurant, just tears just dumping down my face. And that's what it took for me to realize, holy shit, I may not be okay. And I wasn't. I absolutely wasn't. But I got out of that unit, and it was some of the most rewarding work that I'd ever done in my life. I was motivated every day because I was hunting pedophiles. I mean, I couldn't always catch them or stop them, but I could bring some form of justice to them. And I got out of that, and then I retired in 2021 and came on board with Pew Pew Tactical full time. And here's where part 2 kicks in, right? I worked for 4 years, and I kept thinking to myself, my job is great. Look how good I have it. I have this wonderful opportunity to go out and shoot guns all the time, to review them. I go to events, I see friends. Like I have a wonderful job now. And all of a sudden, after 4 years of being out of that other line of work, I started having anxiety. Like physical symptoms of anxiety. Not full chest lockup, but like pangs of anxiety lock up my gut. Just, holy crap, what's going on? So I tried to think about it and figure out what was going on, and it just didn't make sense to me. So I started doing some research, and I found a therapist who specializes in law enforcement. And I got together with her. It was a good fit, and she helped me out, man. I was in therapy for several months, and we talked about those things. We talked about ways to learn how to deal with anxiety. And just to be in complete honesty here, I actually identified as one of my treatment goals was emotional dysregulation. That's right, gentlemen. I was in an airport coming home from another great trip, and I was looking at TikTok on my phone, sitting at the gate. And you know how the algorithm works. You see something, you're interested, you get more and more of that, right? Well, I had some sappy, sad, I don't know if it was a homecoming video or something like that, but I got into a couple of those, and all of a sudden, here come the tears again. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I thought I was past this. I thought I was okay. And what I came to realize is that for the entirety of my law enforcement career, I had bottled off, cut myself off from my emotions so that I wouldn't experience them. And now suddenly I was coming back into them. And through therapy, and I came to this conclusion on my own. I didn't even have to have someone say it to me. But guess what? Experiencing emotions is a normal part of the human process, even for men. And so I modified that goal. I took it away. I'm like, no, okay, I'm back to normal. I'm back to baseline. This is how I'm supposed to be experiencing life. But it took me having physical symptoms because I was too stupid to listen to myself, to look at my behaviors and figure out what was going on. I had to have physical symptoms arrive. And then I got a diagnosis of PTSD. So it was like, oh, okay, well, a lot of things make sense now, a lot of things are tracking. But because of that, once you learn, okay, this is what I'm up against, everything makes more sense now. My shortness of temper, or my ability to get irritated easily, these kinds of things, it starts to make sense. But I'm happy to say that I'm a lot better now, and I have a lot better tools, and I've found my light again, and I am at a very peaceful place in my life, and I'm really happy about that, and I'm trying to share that with other folks.
Oh yeah, well done, dude. Well done. That's huge, huge, huge.
Thanks, brother.
Dude, I just want to back up on that and say bravo. I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I feel you 1,000%. Bravo.
I know you
bravo.
do. I know you do. Thanks,
and
man.
I also want to ask, and this is the most random fucking thing we're going to ask all night. Was it a Chinese restaurant? Because I've only had one breakdown since I moved to Tennessee, and it was in a fucking Chinese restaurant. So if it was a Chinese restaurant, I'd say we're blood brothers or something. I'm throwing that out there.
I'm not going to answer that now.
Okay.
Let's leave that hanging.
It was for me. So, all right, that's cool.
Okay.
And I know something we talked about before going on the air. Doc, if you're still watching, correct me if I'm wrong. 988 is the what you need to call if anybody's suicide or crisis lifeline. So 988 is the number. So I wanted to throw that out there as well before I forget.
Nice.
So where do we go from here? What is something that, this is something that both of you are passionate about, and I love watching when any topic is brought up. Both of your eyes light up and you both start laughing at each other like, oh, he's got a lot to say. No, he's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot. So what is something that we haven't covered that one of you guys are like, we need to actually talk about this?
What do you think, Josh? Should we hit him with stoicism?
Man, probably. I don't know.
Let's go.
Honestly, if we're talking about like daily practices, because here's the thing, I did a video on it today. Because someone said, they're like, dude, does it get any easier? And I'm like, hell no, we're getting old. This shit gets harder.
Yeah.
Our body starts breaking down. Our memory starts getting fucked. Things are not getting easier. That's not the way this works. The things that weirdly get easier are the things we worked hard at that caused our body and mind to deteriorate, right? Getting money is easier. Why? Because we have experience and we know more people and our network's wider and all those things. That's the hard thing when you're young, not being physical, not being having the tools to kick ass. It's just like it doesn't get easier. We just get better. We've all heard that. And like I said, I did a video on it earlier today for that very reason. But what are the steps that keep us in that space of better? And for me, and Sean, I know we've discussed a million times, but like when I'm working, you know, sometimes I listen to bullshit or whatever, but most times it's like mind stuff. I'm listening to books on stoicism or the Tao or, you know, various things that help me adjust and tweak and know where I need to go and what things mean and why they mean what they mean. And, you know, who's this Marcus Aurelius guy? And, you know, who are all these people from the past that seem to know their shit way better than me? And can I be that when I'm dead too? Can somebody say that Joshua Coburn once said in the early 2000s how to be great? And, you know, like someday, damn it, that's my goal.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's keeping in practice, right? I think that's important. That's the thing. How do we keep in practice? Once we get there, once we've climbed the peak, the goal is to stay as even as you can, right? Mm-hmm. So how do we do that? Sean, what are your steps? Like,
Man,
what do you do?
I don't have necessarily a step-by-step process, but I can tell you one thing that I'm pretty passionate about, and that is controlling my environment to a certain degree. And what I mean by that is what I consume, because I've had friends that were rageaholics, and it got to a point where it was just uncomfortable to be around them because they were obsessed with their rage, and it was the only way that they could express themselves. And when I stopped and looked at what was going on with them, they were continually feeding themselves a diet of things that would enrage them. So it becomes this terrible circle, and so I look at negative influences in my life, and I try to minimize them as much as possible. You know, if you're around a certain person and they don't give you happy vibes, do you really need to have them in your life? I mean, I'm not advocating for violence here. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you don't have to work with that person, or even if they're family, you know, like if they're not bringing joy to you or supporting you or something, you know, particularly if they're dragging you down. And sometimes that's hard. Like, it's one thing if somebody doesn't lift you up, but as long as they're not dragging you down, that's a positive. But when you have somebody who is just continually dragging you down and you have them in your life, you're just creating more work for yourself if you have the option to exit out of that influence.
100%. Yep, that goes for news. I see Doc also mentioned social media. And like, people are like, social media is such shit. And I don't agree. The reason, I mean, I do that for a living, number one. And I don't agree, not because of that, but because my feed doesn't show me terrible, horrible, enraging BS. It shows me Sean every week says, it's Friday and you made it. And here's some wisdom from my ass to make your life better. That's the stuff I get. Why do I get that? Because I tailored my feed to show me that stuff. If I want to know what's going on in the world, I'll swing over to X or I'll find my stuff out there. But by and large, I'm not consuming bullshit for the same reason as you, Sean. I'm consuming the good, the positive, the things that make me better. Silly crap, silly knowledge that makes me, feel good about knowing, whether it's history or music or just something to kind of take away
Or fart stuff.
the edge fart stuff that you send
Farts
me.
are always
of
great.
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
Farts are the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
I sit and stare at birds. Like, I'm over 40. I think
Yeah.
that's law that you do that. So, I sit and look at birds in the jungle, like all that stuff. Like, take a minute and just enjoy the things. Like, enjoy that we're here. Think about the rarity of the fact that we're here. Like, I don't know. I feel like, again, 16-year-old me would be looking at 45-year-old me being like,
Oh, yeah,
"Bro,
for
you got
sure.
soft," but
You're a poser.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I got smart, you depressed little ass.
Right. And here's the thing. I think we could summarize this whole practice under protect your peace.
Yep.
And peace is a commodity. It is absolutely a commodity. You can run low and you can go and get some more, right? So if you gravitate toward the things that bring you joy and do that, get a healthy dose of that, and then take steps to protect your peace, by eliminating those negative influences and focusing on the good. Those are a couple of strong steps to maintaining an even keel.
Yes, sir.
So Josh, you were talking about the video that you posted today. You talked about it a couple of times. Do you care if I play that?
No, if you guys want to lose it. Get easier? No, it's not going to get easier. As men in our 40s, it's actually going to get harder. The things that were once simpler and a little easier to perform in the gym are not. Our aches and pains are worse, but that doesn't mean we don't show up. That doesn't mean we don't do it again. That doesn't mean we give up. It means we show up harder and we do more and we do our best, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep us mobile. It's what's going to keep us physically moving forward and mentally capable. And by your showing up, you're showing our sons and daughters they can show up at any age too. And you're inspiring other guys your age that maybe aren't with it, don't have the motivation to go get it, but you're doing it. You're a reminder to show up, because it fucking pays off. So keep doing it. It doesn't get easier, but you get better. And that's what it's about. Have a kick-ass day.
Hell yeah.
Bravo, brother. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo. That's all of us, man. That's all of us. And it's 100% what we got to look at, man. It's not going to get better. Dude, in the last 6 months, I now can't read shit unless I'm holding it fucking out here. 6 months. Like I was like, fuck, I'm 47 and my eyes are still great. And then one day I can't read shit anymore. Like it just sucks. But here we are, man. But I agree, man. There's some things you can't really help, but there's some stuff that we can fight time as long as we can on, and and it gives you that mindset of you can conquer anything, man. You just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
What's interesting though is what I don't want people to think is, when I say it doesn't get better, that doesn't mean our best days aren't ahead. And I think that's something that, I always like to think about Uncle Rico, right? Who's, reliving his glory days and whatever that fucking shitty MTV movie was, Napoleon Dynamite. And like, he was always reliving his glory days. His best days were behind him. I don't believe that. I believe my best days are ahead. And like, tomorrow could be it. I got through today. I got to do this. Like, that was a fucking great day. Like, I always believe that. Just because there's things that aren't going to get better, it doesn't mean that there's not great things. And I think a lot of people get stuck on that. It's like, look, my fucking right arm doesn't work anymore. My arthritis sucks. My whatever. Okay. But now you have something else to look forward to. Something's different. What is that? And now we got to work to find that, because the work doesn't end. The accepting and believing in happiness doesn't end there. It's just different. And that's on us to figure out, as hard as that might be.
So Sean, I'm going to throw this one into your court. Is there anything that you can think of that we haven't touched?
We haven't called it by name, but Stoicism is a philosophy that I kind of fell into over the last few years, and it has really helped me. And I wasn't expecting that. I just started reading it, and I started with meditations from Marcus Aurelius, like Josh had said, and the things that he was saying were just resonating with me. And some of the core tenets are acceptance, like accepting the things that you cannot control. You hear that echoed in other places too, right? Well, it started with the Greeks a long time ago, and there's so many adages. Memento mori. Josh touched on. Uh, Remember that you must die, and that's not it's not a sad warning. It's not oh, you should feel grim about this. It's no, get out and live your life. You know, I read a story the other day, and believe me, 22 years in law enforcement, I know how quickly life can end. But a lady was at a restaurant, and an umbrella blew up in the wind and came over and hit her and killed her. And she had no idea that that was going to happen. Like you're going out to sit outside and enjoy a nice meal, and that's your last meal. So it's a poignant reminder that under the philosophy of Stoicism, we got to accept the things that we can't change, and then always be working toward enjoyment in life, because we don't know when it's going to be over. There's a lot of things, like we could spend hours on Stoicism alone, but man, just those two little things. Amor fati is another great line that I love from Stoicism, and that just love fate. So I'll echo what Josh was saying earlier. My right arm doesn't work anymore. Amor fati means love fate, means that happens, and you should love that it happened. Because guess what? You are going to become masterful with your left hand, or you're going to do something else. You don't see it right now. And this is also kind of underpinning everything Josh had said earlier, right? Like, we're in the shit. And Josh actually said this specifically. Thankfully, I had been through the shit before, right? Who in their right mind says, I'm thankful for the shit that has happened to me? A stoic. A stoic does that because they recognize amor fati, with the good comes the bad. And with the people that are going through hard times, when you get on the other side of that, you're going to realize some amazing things, and they'll be beneficial. I know it's so hard to see it at the time when you're in the middle of that, but man, when you get through and you win the day, and then maybe a year, maybe two, you look back at that and you're like, ooh, that woman was really bad to me. I'm glad she left me. I wanted to die at the time, but I met my wife afterward, right? So, like, that philosophy, it got people through such hard times a long time ago, and it still works today, man.
Yep. And two things that I wanna bring to this. One of them is when my family was going through all the health stuff, a friend of mine was like, dude, how are you getting through this? He doing the good friend thing and checking on me. And he's like, how, like, everybody but you and one other kid are in the shit. How are you doing this? And my response was, look, like, if like everybody's still alive and we're figuring it out. And I had 20, 30 years of awesome, of just like, oh my God, this is my life. If I got 5 or 10 of Jesus Christ, this is real hard shit, I'm here for it. Because when I'm done with it, I got another 20 or 30 of awesome. So let's fucking go. And that was my approach to it. I wasn't pissed. I was tired, but I knew what I had to do. And this is part of it. For everything great that we get, we have to face the hard. So for those of you that are in the shit right now, as Sean had said, that good's coming. You just got to keep showing up. I mean, it's in everything. If you look at directors that put out 5 shit ass movies and they want to give up, and then they put out another one and it hits, Or somebody's put out 10 albums and wrote 400 songs and they have their one hit 10 years in. Oh, overnight sensation. And they're like, right, sure it is. You know, but that's what it is. That's the way this works. And the other piece of this that I want to bring up is the reason this show happened is because when I was on last year, Sean texted me because he was watching it and said that he noticed a lot of stoicism in what I was saying. And I was like, yeah, that's because I'm about that. And I was like, you know who would be great next time this comes up? You would be. And here we are.
Yeah, right on. The dream has been realized.
Indeed, indeed. But yes, I think Stoicism and Taoism are two things that intermesh in such a cool way that, and to your point, you know, there's the old story of the guy who, you know, doesn't have anything and the town thinks that he's, you know, this poor peasant, he's got one sick horse that runs away. And they're like, oh, aren't you sad your horse ran away? He's like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And the horse comes back with 10 other horses. And now he's got a huge stable of young, strong horses. And, you know, his son gets in an accident, loses both his legs. They're like, oh my gosh, how sad are you? Your son lost his legs. And he's like,
we'll
you know,
see.
what will be, will be. It's yet to be seen. And then the military and government comes in and takes all the young boys to war, except for him. So he gets to be with his son for life and care for him when everybody else loses their kids to conflict. Like crazy mindset stuff that's in Stoicism and Taoism and other places too. And often they intersect if you read enough. But that stuff, man, keeps me in check every day. I listen to it every single day.
And it's such a blessing to have you guys on here. I remember that exact moment when you said last time about Sean being on, and you had this idea, man. And everything happens for a reason. Whether Sean likes it or not, he's part of this family now, man. And this won't be the last time you hear from us. But no, man, it's
Right.
You guys really brought it tonight, man. It's I think I judge a show by how it makes me feel, which may not be right, but it's how it works for me. You know, I'm like, how'd the show go? I judge it by how it, and typically, if it makes me feel a certain way, it usually resonates with our audience as well. You know what I mean? And tonight, man, you hit every button, man. You guys hit every button, and
Awesome.
we don't have a. I mean, people don't want to sit around and listen to me and Charles talk for fucking 2 hours. I mean, it doesn't have it. But I mean, maybe they do, probably not. But you guys, probably not. Yeah, you guys are you guys are part of this family, man, and just being open and sharing with us tonight. And the cool part about this is that we say it a lot. We hope that, yeah, we hope people watch us live and whatever. But the cool part is people are going to see this forever on YouTube, man. And you know, they can go back and watch something and be like, man, that really touched me, you know, and hopefully it touches somebody. If we, again, like we've said since day one, if this touches one person, man, we did our fucking job.
There you go.
So I greatly appreciate it, man. Charles, where do we go from here, bro?
So what I just have a curiosity question. You were talking about reading into Stoicism and things like that. If anybody's interested in reading something like that, do either of you have any books that you would say, hey, go buy this one, go to Amazon and get this one? And if you're looking for any of Joshua's books, don't worry. I got the last copy and I paid like $75 for a little book about this big, just so I could have the final copy of it. So you can't get his.
Thank you.
You know,
it will one day be signed by Josh. Just saying.
There you go. The one person that I would really recommend people to right now is Ryan Holiday. This guy is he's actually here in Bastrop, Texas, just a few short miles from me, and opened up a bookstore. But he's really kind of created almost a new age of Stoicism just by his writings and his study, and kind of doing a great job of repackaging it and showing how it's applicable to modern day problems. And one of his books is called, what is it? The problem is the way, or the obstacle is the way. And just that simple philosophy of you stop and think about, okay, we all deal with problems in life, but if your mindset each time a problem comes up is, ooh, that's an opportunity, you're undefeatable, man. And this book, The Obstacle is the Way, it is absolutely delving into that philosophy, how the Stoics used that to approach problems as opportunities, and your life is so much better. It's like the story that Josh just told of the dad. We'll see. You don't know what an issue is going to be, but if you look at a potential problem as a great opportunity, man, you get up the world at your feet. And then the other one obviously is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It was a collection of his notes as one of the last good emperors of Rome. Pretty amazing to have the philosophy that he did, as opposed to what happens so often with power.
Yep.
There you go.
That would be the book that he is talking about right there. So if you see that one, go check that out.
And I'll throw out actually, for those of you that don't want to wait the 48 hours that it takes for Amazon to send you shit, right after you're done, go to YouTube and just type in Stoicism. And there's a lot, granted, some of it's like AI voiced stuff that's just talking, but you can, like, there's 80 gazillion videos, and just click the first one, and as you go through them, you'll find the ones that are more refined and the channels that are actually better and more suited. But that's a great place to start too. I listen to those almost every day, just as I'm working, because it like soaks into my psyche.
Yeah.
And two non-stoic related books that I would recommend are The Go-Giver, which a lot of people have heard of. There's a whole series about it, like courses and shit. Fuck all that, in my opinion. But the book itself is awesome, and it's way outside my norm, as is this other book that I'm going to recommend, which is called The Carpenter. And I would not put myself into the category of a religious man. These both have leanings toward and talk about Jesus a little bit, but just because it talks about that stuff doesn't invalidate any of the teachings or anything. Both those books are amazing. They're short as hell, like 85, 120 pages, but man, they pack a wallop, and they're totally worth picking up. Like The Carpenter was super cool. So yeah, worth checking out also.
Cool.
All right, guys. So the next thing that we need to get into is what we have is Hotbox Questions. Hotbox Questions is 2 questions from Mick, 2 from me. Going to be random questions to you guys, not so random from us. But you can go as short as you want, as long as you want, doesn't matter. But what we like to ask everybody is, are you willing to play Hotbox Questions?
Yeah, buddy.
Let's do it.
All right. Hotbox Questions is brought to you by Beard Apothecary.
What is going on, Real Smoke fam? John here from Beard Apothecary. Today, we're going to talk about Father's Day. So, yes, I'm in the room that Tay built. Anyways, Father's Day. Last year we dropped Daddy-O. And Daddy-O was that beach feel, that pineapple, that coconut, that fresh outdoor scent. Well, this year we wanted to change things up a little bit. We wanted to do something in honor of Tanya's dad, Pete. Many of you know she lost him back in September, and we wanted to do something to honor him. So Pete was a guy that was super generous, just a loving guy. He loved his family, he loved his kids, he loved his grandkids, and yes, he even liked me. So we wanted to do something in honor of him. So Tanya went looking, and she came up with a scent profile that she thinks kind of nailed it. And when I smelled it, I was like, there's no question. We had a whole bunch laid out, and this was the one just stood out above all the others. It's going to be that spice and bergamot and amber that make you think of the sea captain and make you think of just that time out on the water. And This one's really near and dear to our hearts, and so we have officially dropped the Captain Pete, and this is live on the website right now. And we want to thank everybody for everything they do for us, because we wouldn't be anywhere without you guys, and that means the world to us. Make sure you like and follow the boys so we can keep this thing running, the juggernaut that is Real Smoke Podcast. And as always, remember, don't let the beard look weird. Stay metal, my friends.
Huge thanks to John for everything John and his wife for everything that they do for us. Guys, if you've got a crazy mane and you want to keep that thing tame, go check them out. Everything's all natural. They make it there at his house. Actually, his wife makes it there at their house, and super fantastic stuff. I know Mick uses it every day. He's become a bearded Swiftie, as well as I have as well. So they dropped one of their newest scents that they dropped last month or the month before was the bearded Swiftie, and it is freaking fantastic.
I refuse to buy it. If I didn't get one sent to me, I would not wear it. And I hate to admit it, I fucking love it. So I hate it. I'm still on the edge of if I'm ever going to order it or not on my own. But yeah, it's a great scent. Killer. Everything they do is amazing.
Nice.
Anyway, so first question. This one only goes to Sean because I already know Josh's answer. And it's not fun. He's been on the show before. I need something to do the post-show promos to, so I need to put some music to it. What is your favorite musical band or artist?
Brother, I'm an audiophile. I really struggled to give you just one. And
I'm cool with 2 or 3, man. Hit me up. Let's go.
Man, let's see. So, pretty much anything with Chris Cornell. So it's Audio Slave or Soundgarden. I mean, he was definitely one of my favorite singers. But I'm a huge fan of hip hop. I listen to a lot of metal, and probably Slipknot would be up there. Like I friggin' love Slipknot. And you know what? I'm gonna throw an odd one to you. I really like Miley Cyrus too. I think she's a cool chick, and I dig her music. So a
little party in the USA, maybe on a hot summer day in a pool, man. Fuck yeah, we're jamming, dude. I'm with you. Hell yeah.
You know, it's funny, Sean. As much
That's
as
a guilty pleasure.
As much as we've had conversations, Sean, I realized that my primary interest in life is music, and you and I have never discussed music.
I know.
We always discuss like real raw shit. We never talk about light stuff ever. That's hilarious.
We need to get both of them back on. And the title of the episode is Music, Movies, and Mayhem.
Oh,
and
man.
just let them talk about all three.
Let's fucking go.
Since this one was deep, this is nothing but lighthearted, just crazy music, movie, and mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing in September or October? We got you. Well, we'll do it again.
Apparently talking about grindhouse movies, punk rock, and Miley Cyrus.
That's right. Let's go. Let's go.
There we go. All right, so question number 2. Since we're on men's mental health, if you each could give some listener, watcher out there one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Now, I know we've talked about a lot of different things tonight and touched on some different philosophies and approaches, but another one that I think is important is more universal, and it is what you put out into the world is very often what you will experience. And you know, when you look at the fundamentals of that, I mentioned my friend that was a rageaholic. That's what he put out into the world, and that's what came back at him. He really didn't have a filter. He didn't have a way to like take it down a notch once in a while. He was just constantly angry, and I have dealt with a lot of chaos in my life. A lot of it was because of my work, but I also try to be a calming influence and try to, take things down. And so what I am enjoying now in my life is a modicum of that peace for myself. And so I just keep trying to be positive and put positivity out into the world and peace out into the world and enjoy that now that I'm past Josh's age and things are getting more difficult for me too.
Yeah, I'll answer that in much the same way. Kind of a couple things. It's like kindness matters. Like the little things go a long way. Like what you put out comes back for sure. So be kind. It's tattooed on my head to remind myself every day that I need to do that. And the other thing is that, and I said this on another podcast not long ago, and she reminded me when I was on that podcast 10 years prior that I said the same thing, which blew my mind. She had the footage ready to roll, blew me up. But it was that it doesn't matter. The shit that you're worried about so much right now, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's things, right? But I think generally we know those things. All the rest of it it's not a big deal. If there's anything I'd tell my younger self, don't worry so much about the bullshit, man. It's bullshit. Just move ahead. Like, we're dudes. All we got to do is stare at the ocean and smoke cigars and be stoked about that. That's it. That's it. Treat people good and be stoked that you got some peace in your life. Like, that's what matters, So yeah, be kind, do good, keep a positive mental attitude.
Bravo, man. I couldn't say it any better, man. That's sometimes we got to remind ourselves that we woke up breathing, man, and we have that opportunity to make a difference today, and we have that opportunity to have a great cigar and hang out with people we love, and something I say every week. And man, so well said, man. Put it back out there; it'll come back to you every single time.
Yep.
I really don't know where to go for my question number 2, but because I'm worried that I've asked Josh these questions before. I should have went back and watched which ones I've asked him before, because I'm trying to be the funny guy in the questions, and Charles is kind of being serious tonight. So I'm going to go way off the wall. I'm going to go with the one that Matt Booth called me a F and A-hole, and we got shut down that night. I'm going to ask you, is cereal a soup?
Is cereal a soup? Oh, wow.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's nutrition in liquid. I mean, I'm trying to sell it here, and then I'll put myself back on mute. But I'm just trying to sell it. I mean, it could be. There's cold pea soup. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So I figured I'd throw you off.
This is the only question that they've actually taken more than a couple of seconds to answer.
Well, we're
the
sure
entire
of ourselves.
night.
We know shit, right? We've been through things. We got real answers. This is what we haven't been through. We're going through it right now. Bear with us.
And then latchkey kids, like I fed myself cereal my whole life, like since I could run a spoon.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah. Yep, still 100%. To this day, I will get down with cereal. I would say that scientifically they do share similar properties, but I would not categorize cereal as soup. That's my answer.
Okay.
For the sake of, I guess
he's analyzing it. This is great.
No, it's because I still have this guy in there.
Yeah, remember
that guy.
He likes brutal honesty.
Right, and I'm so indifferent to the question that it's irrelevant. Who gives a shit? Who cares?
Oh, that's so punk. That's so punk.
I love it.
Best answer ever.
Who cares? Yeah.
Fuck your question.
I mean, if you want it to be soup, it should be soup. If you don't want it to be soup, we can call it cereal. And it'll be fine either way. You can call it soup cereal or cereal soup also. But none of it matters, and everybody should just be stoked you got food.
Yeah.
This is the best answer we've ever gotten by far. But like, I've only ever had like 2 people ever that said absolutely it's soup. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great. But Josh won. You win.
Yeah.
You win. We'll get back to serious.
If AI does not capture this as a clip, I will go back and make this a clip.
I like
First
that
world
it makes
problems.
me look like the curmudgeon-y old man.
Out of
Get off my
context.
lawn. Who
Yeah.
cares?
That's what it is.
All right. So last hot box question. Again, Mick says I'm the one that always goes serious and deep. Do you think happiness is something that we chase or something that we create?
This is a good one. I'm curious of Sean's answer, but I got mine locked and loaded.
Well, go ahead, my friend. I will ponder while you elucidate.
I've spoke on this a million times in a million schools and a million corporations, and happiness is neither. Happiness is present. It's around us all the time. And if we aren't looking for it, we are not going to find it. And unhappiness and anger and hatred is around us at all times. It's going to show its face, regardless of if we look for it. Happiness takes focus. That's it. Awareness that it's there. And if you can be aware that it's there, you start to see it everywhere. And science has proven that. Because there's the old test. If I tell you to look around your room, Charles, and tell me everything that's purple, and you take a moment, you look around your room, and I say, yes, sir. And then I say, tell me everything that's red. You fail, right? You got 1, 2 things, but you can tell me everything that's purple. But that's because you were looking for it. So if you're looking for happiness, you understand it's present everywhere, you will see it everywhere. Like when you start to buy a new car, right? You're like, oh man, I want a 1998 something or other, red Corvette. What do you start to see? Damn, does everybody have those fucking red ass Corvettes everywhere? Science proves that we start to see the things we're looking for and aware of. It's there. Now we got to look for it.
Yeah, well said. I think I would just add to that being present is so crucial to that happiness. And when we mentioned gravitating toward joy, like moving toward the things that bring you that happiness, but it is so crucial that you stop and realize happiness and appreciate happiness, because and this is kind of a terrible feeling, but you ever look back in your life and thought about oh man, we were really happy then. Remember when we lived here and you worked there and I worked there and we were so happy? I mean, if you're looking back and you're not thinking about that happiness in your current life, but you can look back and realize it, but maybe at the time you didn't realize it, that's sad to me. That's sad to me. But I've done that. I've done that in my life. So now I'm trying to stay focused, like here and now today, get up. Okay. One of the best approaches to getting to that happiness too is gratitude. If we say, man, I'm glad, Mick, you mentioned it earlier. I woke up breathing today. Man, you got a great opportunity to have a stellar day and to impact the future, to be positive in somebody else's life, or maybe support somebody else who needs some help. And showing gratitude and moving toward those things that bring you joy. I think happiness is a state of mind, but you need to be mindful to achieve it, because so often we get hit with the distractions, we get hit with the things that life randomly throws at us, and we get pulled out of that center. We don't go back to thinking, oh yeah, I know this shit over here happened, but you know what? I'm really lucky to have an amazing wife. I'm really fortunate to have an outstanding job and wonderful children. And take stock and show some gratitude. It'll push your head back toward happiness.
And
that may have been like some of the best answers.
I want to take a second, if I may. And I don't mean to interrupt. I think you're kind of breaking up, so I'm jumping in here. I apologize. But I want to say that it's interesting. Now that I've thought, and listening to Sean, you talk, now that I've thought about the fact that you and I have never discussed music, but we're friends nonetheless, right? it made me realize in your talking a moment ago, like we align so well just because, regardless of past, present, things we've been through, we align because we approach life similarly because of those outside forces that brought us to wherever we are.
Yeah.
Which, to the point that I want to make, is to those guys out there struggling and that don't have a crew, that maybe don't even have their one homie, like, know that as you get on that path, you pick up your tribe kind of along the way. Because whether you're in the gym or AA meetings or, what is it, NA meetings, like whatever it is you're healing through, you pick up your crew as you improve, and you lose them as you improve or they improve also. And all that's okay. It's all okay. But know that you're there to be stepping stones and sometimes climbing partners up those mountains. But be open to that. If you don't have your crew, know that they're coming. Just keep working on yourself. They'll be there. As evidenced by Sean.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, we come to the final segment that we have, and it is the Ask It Forward question. So, the guest that we had on last week, we give them a chance to ask a question to the guest that we have on this week, something that they're thinking about. So Mick will reach out to somebody this week. Both of you, one of you, I don't know who he's going to reach out to. It's Mick. We don't know what Mick does, but he's going to reach out to somebody and get a question. He's going to tell you about who our guest is next week, try to get a question from you. We also have one from our Patreon. So somebody who is in our Patreon group who is helping support us is going to ask you a question as well. So before we roll into that one, our Ask It Forward questions are brought to you by Southpaw Stogies.
Hey everyone, I'm Wes Chandler with Southpaw Stogies. If you're looking for a new cigar lounge, especially in the Lebanon, Tennessee area, boy, have I got the place for you. Come on, let me invite you inside. Here at Southpaw Stogies, we're not just a cigar lounge, we're a community. Whether you're a cigar enthusiast or new to smoking, we want to make sure that you feel right at home. Not only do we do cigars, but if you're looking for a great drink, we've got a curated selection of alcohol, craft beer, and oh yes, we do coffee as well. And most importantly, we want to make sure that you feel right at home at Southpaw Stogies, and we hope we see you soon.
All right, so our Ask It Forward question from our guest last week was Mark Osborne with Adroit Theory Brewing. So his question.
Hey fellas, this is Mark from Adroit Theory Brewing. I didn't get to ask this question when we had our interview the other day, but maybe you can pass this on to your next guests. When you're smoking a cigar, what type of cut do you do on your cigar? Obviously, I've done the straight cut guillotine style, which seems to be the most popular, but I've also done a V-cut, which I have enjoyed, and I've also done the punch style, which I know a lot of people like as well, and maybe there's others I don't even know. So let me know what your thoughts are, and if you think it enhances, your cigar smoking experience. Cheers.
So it's lighter fare. I'm glad to hear that. We won't be so kind with our question.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
Well, let me lead because I'm sure that the cigar baron over there is going to knock it straight out of the park. I'm pretty simple. I use a punch, and it's pretty easy for me to carry around. I don't have too many problems with it, and then I think I'll use whatever if I don't have my punch with me. But for the most part, that I pretty much just use a punch.
You are literally the only person I've ever met that has said that out loud.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that uses a punch because they enjoy it, only because that's all that was available. Seriously, that's so funny. But leave it to you, of course.
Got it. Am I a hipster of tobacco?
Well, I think so. I mean, look at your shirt tonight, bro.
All right.
I don't know. I'm whatever the opposite of a tobacco baron is. So, you know, the fact that you called me out for that is something. So, but honestly, I just do a traditional like flat guillotine cut for two reasons. Because it's traditional, it's how people have done it for centuries, because that's what made sense to them, and also because that's mostly what's available around me at all times. My wife always does a V cut, and which is great, but like I don't like, I get weird about it, right? Like people say phrases like mouth feel, which make me uncomfortable, but it's like when you're doing the thing, right? I just do the thing. But if I have a V cut, I get weird about it. I start trying to put my mouth in certain spots, and like I can't put pressure squeeze it together. Like I don't want to think about it. I don't want to get weird about it. I don't want to do it the wrong way when I put it in, and it's not horizontal, it's vertical, and now I burn my lip.
That's what she said.
Right here. Like I get weird about it. So it's like, oh, I'll stick with, but I guess I could like do the X cut and just be like, you know, screw everybody. This is my
There you
way.
go. There you go.
I agree with Sin. I am 100% V cut. I occasionally will do a straight cut if I don't have one available, but I V cut almost everything. I feel the cigar holds together better. I get a better draw from it. I get a more consistent draw, and I have no problem. I was going to say something crazy there, so go ahead. Yeah, I'm a V cut guy. Never mind.
You were going to say you don't have any problem with the mouth feel.
He's got no problem at all with the mouthfeel.
I was going to say I had no problem with the V in my mouth, so I'm good. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I said it now. Okay, I said it now.
There
All
you
right.
go.
I'll put myself back on
right
mute.
into it.
There you
And
that was an
we just
ambush.
went there.
It was.
There we go. All right, so the last one. The last one is from our Patreon member. He is one of our newest one. It is Money Matt.
How's it going, everybody? This is Money Matt here with your Real Smoke Patreon members question of the week. I'd like to know, with this crazy world we have, is there something you, Josh, or you, Sean, do daily to decompress and to recharge that mind? Thanks.
Great question.
Yep. The great philosopher Sean.
Daily, I don't look at it necessarily daily, but just like routines over the week. One thing that I do is it's almost becomes ritual too. So we work out twice a week, and the wife and I go. My daughter has started going too, so it kind of becomes a family affair. And then you know, like Friday is always Taco Friday in our house. It has been for decades. My wife and I have been together for 30 years, and I don't remember exactly when it started, but we've been doing Taco Friday for a long time. We have another show that we watch called Svengoolie. It's like an old horror show that he's a horror host, and he plays old movies like Universal horror movies, and he gives all these details and factoids about them. You know, we sit and watch that religiously every Saturday with the Three Stooges before that. So like little things, again, that I'm modeling the behavior that I mentioned all this time. I'm moving toward my joy. Those things bring me joy. Working out brings me joy. It clears my head, makes me feel better. And then spending time with loved ones and doing things that we love to do, man, that might be the secret to happiness.
I think it is. I think you nailed it. I don't know if I can follow that up. I need to add Svengoolie into my
Hell
list.
Yeah.
I haven't spent time watching any of that stuff in years. I used to love Elvira and
Yes.
Up All Night from back in the day on USA, for those of you other nerds out there. Yeah, for me at this stage in my life, man, it's the gym, which I do 4, sometimes 5 days a week. I do cardio every single day, 10 miles on the bike. Both those things really help me out. Otherwise, I read every day. It could be 15 minutes, could be 2 hours, right? But I read every day something. Generally, it's something about mindset or self-improvement. Or right now, I'm reading a book on Asperger's and relationships and all that stuff. And I'll tell you, that shit's insightful and helps me just stay even. Often, if I'm reading, that goes hand in hand with a cigar. And sometimes just an old friend of mine told me about the nothing box, which I maybe have mentioned before. But I sit and sometimes I'll have a cigar, sometimes not. And I access the nothing box in my mind. And what's there? Nothing. There's nothing in there. Somebody says, what are you thinking about? It's like thoughts, I guess.
Yeah.
Because whatever passes through is all we're thinking about. And that brings me peace. And it's kind of a meditation. And that happens every single day also.
Great answer.
I'm gonna jump on this one too. I mean, nobody cares about my answer. I can't beat you guys, but I think some of those repetition things, man, is something that it is a key to happiness, like Sean said. The wife and I will at least once a weekend we'll grab pizza and watch a movie to end the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll maybe go out and have it's not always about drinking, but we love going to breweries. We love meeting brewers. We love meeting people at breweries. It's something that we do together. We plan trips around it, you know. And but I think the one thing that's most consistent right now is our TriStar Herf crew. Man, I credit Charles with creating this family that I didn't know I needed. You know what I mean? And every Tuesday on those days that I don't even feel like getting on, I'm freaking tired inside. I'm tired. I shit day at work or whatever. I still jump on that Herf, man. And I usually I'm going to listen, and I never listen. Anybody who's been on one of them Herfs, I never listen. I talk and vent about my fucking week, and I take over the show. I take over rooms. It's what I do. It's kind of who I am. But at the end of it, I feel 100% better than I did before it started. You know what I mean? And having that cigar on a Tuesday night with our family in TriStar, man, means the world to me. So I mean, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about it and finding new members and people that really care about the same things we care about and actually just decompressing and enjoying that time together. So it's awesome to me, man.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm going to start with Sean, and I'm going to let you close out, and then I'll let Josh close out. Is there any final things that you want to say before we let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening? In other words, go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. When I watched this show a year ago, I saw how impactful it was. And, I've loved Josh for years, but getting to meet you guys through him is super cool. Like, he continues to bring joy into my life, even through intermediaries. So again, I appreciate you guys having me on and allowing me to share. Some of the things that we talked about tonight are kind of difficult subjects, but they don't have to be. If you can build up a network, find somebody that you can trust, talk to somebody, and share some things. Start sharing, because the thing is, I stuffed down emotion for years, and it never served me. It always came back out at some point, and I wasn't in control of it when it happened. So use my mistake as an example. Build a network, find some people, talk to people, share some things, get some stuff off your chest, and move towards your joy. Find what that is. The last thing I want to shout out is to my daughter Betty, who was in the comments earlier and said she was proud of us. That young lady has seen her father change, I like to think, for the better over the last couple of years, and there she is. And so having her support and having her be proud of me, that's everything for me.
Amazing. I don't think I could follow that shit up. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, we got one life, and we're here to change as many as we can for the better, and leave a legacy of good behind us. So that's what I try to do, and I would encourage everyone else to try to do the same. Because if we can leave people with good good moments and good memories and better than we found them, then I think our job is done. And I don't think life is easy, but I do think it's simple, and I think it revolves mostly around that.
Man, yeah, so true.
So Mick, I'll let you close this out.
Man, I can't say thank you guys enough for taking the time. I mean, we just want to give something back, man. Every time we do a show like this, and I mean, every week we try to bring a little joy and laughter, like we said, and have a little fun. But this is different, man. And you guys were absolutely everything we could have ever asked to hopefully put this out there and, you know, maybe get a little help to somebody that needs it, or just an encouraging word or a new thought process. You know, I think that's something that we all need to evaluate the route that our thought process is on. And I know I have to do it daily, man. And it's a process for us as men. It's a process, and it's a daily process that we have to work on ourselves and maybe adjust that thought process. So thank you for being a part of this journey for us. John, I might be reaching out soon. Charles and I he messaged me, but I'm on my phone this week, so I can't reply. We may hit you up sooner than later. We have an opening coming up, so we'll hit you up, and we'll go away from the mental health thing maybe a little. We might, you know, venture back in a little bit, but maybe we'll talk a little guns and cigars and whatever else comes to mind that night. But we'll
I'd be honored, man. Anytime.
Yeah, we'd love it, man. But thank you both. Charles, you got the last word, man.
So when we started this, we first started doing, you know, the men's mental health because it was a topic of the month. And then I can't remember who it was during that conversation that said, you know, one of the hardest times is during the holidays. So we have gotten to where in June we are doing men's mental health. And then at the end of the year, we're doing mental health through the holidays. So, you know, it may be something where we reach out to you guys if you're interested, but instead of diving deep into men's mental health, it's literally, if you're a man, if you're a woman, I think we're having Doc on again, but it's all about just getting through the holidays and the struggles that it takes on your family and on you and your kids and everything else. But it's one of those things that we don't do it because it's something that we think it's topical. We do it because we go through it. It's something that we see in our lives. We see with our families. We see with our friends. And the fact that you guys jumped on here with us tonight to talk about this, I mean, you were real, but you were also fun about it. You didn't make it to where it was like being preached at. And I enjoy that. So, guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for jumping on here. I know everybody in the chats have said nothing but good things about you guys all night. So thank you guys so much for jumping on here, and we'll be in touch with both of you here shortly.
Pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
How did I end up off the screen? That was bad. By the way, this technical difficulty was brought to you by Katie Cigars. Go check them out. Anyways, just like that, episode 80 is in the books.
Phenomenal. 80.
We
It
are
seems like
hitting
yesterday.
the number of episodes on the age that I feel.
Yeah. I will say I've learned something from being away for 2 weeks. My mattress at home is part of my problem. I've felt better these last 2 weeks in this hotel mattress than I have at home in a long time. So guess what's not moving back to Pennsylvania with us?
100% agree. We stayed about a year ago somewhere, and we stayed there for 3 or 4 days. And by the last day, I told Jennifer, I said, everything in my knees and my hips and my back is gone. So she literally took the cover off the mattress just to look to see what it was. And we bought something for our bed, and it's changed everything. So yeah, you're getting old.
I absolutely. Yeah, it sucks, but I am absolutely not taking our mattress from Memphis back to Pennsylvania. Just not doing it. It's time.
It's horrible. Just get rid of it.
Absolutely. Man, what a great show.
All right, so everybody in the chat right now, if you, what's our 2 hashtags tonight?
Hashtag real smoke for anyone, absolutely anyone. It's the start of a new month. And hashtag real smoke Pat. You guys need to get in on this because there's probably only 1 or 2 Pats here, and one of them's taking a prize home tonight. So there you go. Get in on that.
Make sure you get those in the comments right now. We'll get to that here shortly. We do have our cigar review to do, prizes to give away, and some Meanwhile in Memphis with a brand new sponsor. So, are you ready to get into our review?
I sure am. Love to.
All right. So, I guess this is the last. I guess this may be the last week. No, we got one more next week. Our cigar review is brought to you by Cigar Army, but they do have an event coming up, so I'm doing this one off the cuff again. So Cigar Army has the EMT fundraiser, the Premium Non-Caree Foundation, presented by Cigar Army. Saturday, June 13th, Brothers of the Leaf Lounge in New Windsor, New York. The ticket price is $70, but it gets you a cigar, beer, high noons, soda, and water. Also gets you food by Chef Steph, as well as a cash bar available. Raffles will be sold for the event, only prizes. So guys, go check them out. If you're in that area, go check out the event, go get your tickets. If you're not in the area and you are wanting to do something to support them, go on to our merch store. Go to realsmokepod.com. Go get this shirt right here. It is the Real Smoke Podcast PNNF Cigar Army t-shirt. So what happens is if you buy that shirt, whatever the profit is, we are not only going to give Cigar Army the profit to that, but we're going to match the profit and they're going to donate it to the foundation as well. So there's, a couple of ways you can give back. Also, if you're going to the event, show up in that shirt. You're going to be styling and profiling like Ric Flair. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
we did sell 2 or 3 more of those this past week. I think the total numbers at 16 or 17 of those shirts sold, which is awesome. We will be sending that money to Frank soon. We're doubling it all, like Charles said. It's a great shirt. Support them. Every penny goes back to them, and we double it. So good times.
There you go. So I am going to step out for just a second, like I saw you do earlier. I'm going to let you go ahead and get into your cigar review. So
I got
are you ready for the review?
Let's do it. So again, we smoked the Patoro Brazil this past week. Good cigar, beautiful cigar off the start. The aroma from the body was musty and bitter notes, light barnyard and straw. It was definitely a unique aroma off the body. It was different than most cigars I've smoked recently. The aroma from the foot was a strong cocoa and touches of citrus. Taste from the cold draw was natural tobacco sweetness, cocoa, and a light mustiness. First third notes, a very tight draw for about the first inch. That did loosen up after about the first inch, but that first inch was a very, very tight draw. I was concerned about the construction or it rolled a little too tight, but it opened up. It was great after that. Definitely creamy smoke, woody and oakiness, baking spices, light black pepper, and light citrus notes. Retro was light black pepper and touches of leather. Second, third notes. The draw finally, it was completely consistent in the second third. There was coffee with cream, molasses sweetness, cedar notes, a couple touches of cinnamon, and a nuttiness that appeared near the end of the second third. I had one touch up in the second third, and the ash held over halfway. I was actually under herf when we did this. It was crazy. The ash, I wasn't even trying, and then all of a sudden I started kind of trying, but it was over halfway before it finally fell. Stacked dimes the whole way through. Beautiful light gray ash. It was very well constructed. The retro, the second third was light black pepper and baking spices. Final third notes, I got cedar, cinnamon. The earth started creeping in towards about the midway point of the final third. Black pepper, natural tobacco sweetness still remained, and still touches of those baking spices and cinnamon. Retro was light black pepper, damp earth, and baking spices. The little citrus notes throughout was one of my favorite parts of this cigar. I really, really enjoyed that. The pre-lighted experience, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, 13 out of 15. Construction characteristics, pretty high score on this one because of how well it burned. 27 out of 30. Smoke production, final thoughts, 30 out of 35. I gave it an 88.
So I As always, I always smoke one early, one the night of. Did update my score tonight. So let's go into it real quick. And I do have a graphic, but the graphic changed, so I'm not going to use it tonight. So aroma off the body, musty, footy, chocolate. It had that musty, sake smell. I don't know. Aroma off the foot, sweet tobacco and prunes. Taste off the cold draw, sweet tobacco, fruity, and fruit cup. On the light, oak, slight pepper, slight subtle sweetness. Into the first third notes are coffee, oak, citrus, and a slight sweet cream note. The retro is a slight black pepper, coffee, cream, and a slight sweet fruit note. Draw is tight, and it takes a little work to get the smoke. Smoke is flavorful, though, but leaves a waxy note on the tongue. Finish is medium to short, but sweet. Burn is fantastic. Ash holds past the third. Strength is a medium. Into the second, notes up front are almond, cocoa powder, cedar, baking spice, and cinnamon, followed by a creamy sweetness. The retro is cocoa, nutty, and slight cedar and cream. The draw is tight. Smoke is okay. Finish is short, but slightly sweet. The burn is fantastic. Ash holds more than a third. Strength is about a medium. Into the final third, notes up front are woody, earth, slight nutty, and a slight cedar. Note at the end. The retro is woody, nutty, and a slight coffee note. Devin would like this one. It's woody and nutty. Draw is is a little better. Smoke is about the same, but less waxy. The finish is short but sweet. Burn is still razor sharp. Ash holds all the way through. Strength is about a medium. The only wish that I had is that it gave me more of a punch in the face than what it did. If it would have had a little more kick to it, this would have been a great contender of one of my top 10 for the year. So, pre-light experience, I gave a 17 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, a 13 out of 15. Construction and characteristics, a 26 out of 30. That's what changed on me. The smoke production and final thoughts, a 30 out of 35. I did have this one at an 86, or an 84, but it jumps up to an 86. You said 88?
Yes, sir.
Real Smoke Podcast gives this one an 87.
Dude, that was the closest we've ever been on notes. I think we said it last week too. Something's weird's happening because that was exactly. I said musty on that aroma from the body was unbelievably musty. Like is that typically a Brazil wrapper kind of thing? Like I don't know.
Sometimes I get that off of I will get that off a few different wrappers. But this one was it reminded me almost of gym socks.
Oh yeah, it was musty and funky, and it was so unique that I couldn't wait to get into it. And it was a great cigar. Like I said, I agree with you though. I wish it had a little bit more kick, especially on the retro, but it was a great cigar. Mark from Katie actually suggested that one to us. Great job. Great cigar. We really enjoyed it.
So do me a favor, hit me a message sometime tomorrow, and I will update the score page and send that to you. That way you can get it out. I know I already sent you stuff.
I got you.
But I will get that one updated because when I was smoking it tonight, it was like, I can't let my score stand. I need to rescore this one, and went through and rescored it. So
love it. Great.
Why we smoke multiples.
It is. It's fun until you're stuck in a hotel and you can't smoke the second one. But yeah, I'll get to that this weekend. I'll let you know. But no, it was a great cigar, man. Really enjoyed it.
All right. So the next thing that we have to do is some prizes. So while the prize sponsor goes through, I guess I can't do that because I got to read this one because we haven't got a video from him yet. So we'll just go ahead and talk about it. So tonight's prizes are brought to you by Definition Cigars. Tonight's prize is brought to you by Definition Cigars. One of the things I love about Definition Cigars is that it's more than just another cigar company. Jamon has created a brand that stands for something. Great cigars are easy to find, but great cigars with a purpose behind them are a little more rare. One of my personal favorites in the lineup is the Equalizer BP Perfecto. It's one of those cigars that I keep reaching for because it delivers exactly what I want every time. Great construction, excellent flavor, and a smoking experience that keeps me engaged from start to finish. Every definition cigar I've smoked has delivered quality, consistency, and flavor, but the message behind the brand is what keeps me coming back. It's about defining who you are and becoming the best version of yourself. That's something I can get behind. Check out Definition Cigars and see what defines you.
Who needs a video, man? You kill it every time. It's great. It's a great brand. We love it, man. It's great. Well done.
So I'll let you go ahead and give all the ins and outs and all the stuff for all the new people out there about our prizes.
Yeah, it's pretty simple tonight. It's the first of the month. So everybody's in for the first drawing. Hashtag Real Smoke. If you guys have not, like I said, first of the month, first show of the month, you guys get everybody's in. So whoever wins on this one, we'll pick a random number to try to beat the algorithm. We are promised that your name is in there, and we will spin that wheel. We'll get it to the winner.
All righty. So if you guys can see, it is for episode 80, and we are spinning for Real Smoke Patreons first. So it's a Real Smoke Pat on there.
Oh,
Mick, only thing I need from you is a number.
Let's go 4 and 3 tonight.
4 and 3. So 4 for the
four.
Pats.
Yep. So the fourth name drawn will be your winner.
Remember, you have to be on here live to win. You will have about 30 mixed seconds before we decide to roll again. So Real Smoke Pat, here we go. We only have 3 Patreons on here tonight. How many are still
Somebody's
here?
winning.
Yep. Roll number 1. It is Coulter. Sorry about your luck, buddy, but you with 3 people, you may come up again. Roll number 2.
Has Money Matt won yet? I don't think he has.
Coulter again. What? See, this is why we do this. Roll number 3. If he hits for 3rd time in a row, I'm just going to give it to him.
Yeah, why not?
Money Matt, roll number 4. This is going to be your winner. Who shall it be?
And are they live?
Yes, Money Matt is on vacation with his family. Coulter, oh my goodness.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Oh my goodness. You have about
it pays to be a Patreon.
It does. And there are no, if you win or whatever, it is just a Patreon. So you just got to be here.
You just got to be here.
So you got about 30 mixed seconds to let us know that you're here.
I think you're about 10 into it. So
first loser again, he says. He's not the loser. He's here. Come on.
Is he still here?
That you're here.
Did he
I don't know.
Leave after he lost the first time? I mean, come on. Coulter.
Oh, come on.
You're killing me, dude. Really? Is it not coming up? Let's look here. I got my phone up too. Hang on. Somebody said congrats. Somebody else said congrats. Money Matt and Burnline still here. Big Al. What's up, brother? Man, we're gonna start counting down here. Are you here?
Did he leave? He says, oh, there it is. I'm here. All right. So Coulter, you know what to do. Send Mick your mailing name, address, phone number, email address, sperm sample, first Horns blood sample, hand job, whatever you got to do.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That escalated quickly. All right. So this one's for everybody. Everybody but Coulter. This one's for everybody. Whoever wins, wins. We're going 3 spins.
So backing out, going in, hashtag Real Smoke. Now, I will say, does Coulter get a chance to win this one? Because he's already won. He's won this one.
No, he's the only one.
Yep.
He's the only one I would say that doesn't win. Everybody else is in. 3rd winner, we go.
Here we go. There are 23 entries on this one.
All right.
So here we go. That's what I like seeing.
Hell yeah.
Roll number 1, the first non-winner is going to be AJ Jarvis. Sorry, bud. Number 2.
I do got to ask, what's the
be...
chances? What's the chances of Money Matt not popping up once when there's only 3 of them in there?
Cigars with Angel is number 2. This will hopefully be your winner if they are here. And I hope it's one of the ladies, just because it's something new. Hologram. How did I know that was going to happen? Hologram, are you on here? You got about 6.5 mix seconds.
He's not here? Is that what you said?
We're going to cut it down for Hologram. You've got 1.5 seconds.
Yep,
about 5 seconds. He said he's here. Hologram, you know what to do. Do the deal. Mailing name, address, phone number, email address, weird nude pics to Mick, whatever you got to do.
Jesus.
Go ahead.
Wow. If he sends those, I'm revoking it. Revoking it. It's over. Done.
All right. So congratulations. Next week we will have 2 new ones. It will probably be a new and a Patreon again, or it may be a new and everyone. So, but we're going to throw a new in for next week. So
yeah, we have to.
If you've never won something from us before, jump on next week. We will do a hashtag Real Smoke New, and that'll be something for you guys. So,
hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's go back to that one and throw this away. Top screen. There we go. All right. So the last one that we have to do is some Meanwhile in Memphis. I've been waiting for this one.
Meanwhile, somewhere.
Wait, it's not Memphis? Oh yeah. You're still hotel life in it, right?
Till tomorrow. Fly back tomorrow, man. So yeah, still in Texas, bro. Still in Texas. Tomorrow or next week might be weird too, but we'll let that be a surprise.
Yeah, next week it's gonna be a little weird. So I can't deliver this one. This is your baby. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. What am I talking about? Our new sponsor? So this person's already been a family member pretty much since we started the podcast, has actually hosted, the only other host of the podcast in the podcast history. Put it out that we were, well, my daughter was part of it as well. Oh shit, you're right. There was 2. She's the champ.
She's the champ. She's been on here more than anyone else.
She has, and she's been a member of this family since day one, been a supporter, and now she's officially supporting, and exciting stuff to come on that. We can't go too deep into that right now, but we're going to build some shit together. So we are excited to announce that
she's about to tease the hell out of it right now.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. At least we get a little bit of a behind the scenes look, but you guys will get to see that first. So stay tuned. But Sin Coburn, Dissident, obviously Josh as well. They are now the official sponsor of Meanwhile in wherever the fuck I'm at that week. So Meanwhile in Memphis, Meanwhile in Texas, Meanwhile in Pennsylvania. Who knows where I'll end up? Kind of like Where's Waldo at this point. But thank you, Sin. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for jumping aboard. Like, you guys are family already, but we are super stoked to have you be an official part of sponsoring this show. So we can only hope that we can give back to you what you guys give to us. So, thank you.
I am Sin Coburn, owner of Dissident Cigars, and now also a part of Northern Cigars. I'm super stoked about this, and I can't wait to talk more about this adventure. For those of you that don't know, Dissident is for those of us who are the blue-collar workers, the bikers, the rebels, the badasses, you name it. It's really for anybody, but if you go against the grain and you're not scared to stand up for yourself, then Dissident is for you. We are punk AF. And Northern Cigars, this is such a wonderful project that I'm a part of, and I'm so excited for you guys to learn about. I wish I could say more about it, but there's a reason why I'm also a part of Northern Cigars. These cigars are fantastic. We're taking in the roots of Nicaragua, the culture, the experience, the agriculture, and we're putting it into cigars. And you guys are going to learn really quick what Northern Cigars is. And I can't say too much more about it, but I'm super stoked. So you guys need to stay tuned about what I have to say about Northern and Dissident, because I think it's going to blow your socks off. But meanwhile, light up and enjoy this next segment of Real Smoke.
Oh! Oversized truck in the HEB.
I like that she said meanwhile. That was great. She said meanwhile. Meant to be. Meant to be. Yeah, we can't say much either, but super excited. What happened? Me?
Somebody wrestled a gator at a Buc-ee's again. Meanwhile in Texas, only on the Real Smoke podcast.
So the funny thing is, what's weird is I have to do this now. Give me just a second, because I wasn't prepared for it. This technical difficulty is brought to you by Katie Cigars. Mix, meanwhile in Texas music was playing. He couldn't hear it. So he was talking over his music. That was funny.
I can still hear you.
Everybody else heard it.
I
so Mick,
didn't hear
Mick
it.
had the technical difficulty this time. Again, brought to you by Katie Cigars.
Thanks, Mark, for sponsoring that shit that I couldn't hear the music. So okay, cool. So we're ready. The music's done. I can't hear anything. So you good?
Let's just see. Can you hear now?
Oversized truck in the HEB.
No.
Yeah. So it's all good.
All right, cool.
I think everybody else heard it. Whatever.
I hope so. That'll be interesting when I listen to that back.
Oh yeah. I mean, the music's going and you're just talking. So that's why I'm going like stop. Yeah, here. Listen. All right.
So,
anyways.
Can't hear.
Meanwhile, in Texas, while you're sitting trying to get internet from Buc-ee's parking lot, let us know what you think.
All right. So my first story, I'm going to throw myself under the bus on this one. After I print something on a printer, I should make sure that it was formatted for the size of the page. I'm missing a lot of letters on the right side of my first story.
I can't wait to hear this.
Police. Convicted bank robber tried to rob the it's supposed to say Sam, but it says Sam Fort Worth Bank 7 days after he gets out of prison. He robbed the bank, spent 7 years in federal prison. 7 days later, robbed the same bank. I probably shouldn't even try to read the story because I'm missing words everywhere. So that's why this is already pre-crumpled because I threw this earlier because I was so pissed off. It was a good story. That he claimed he had a gun, demanded money. He didn't get anything, and he fled on foot. Officers searched the area nearby. They eventually found him. It was the exact same guy that had robbed the same bank 7 years ago and spent 7 years in prison for that robbery. So apparently he did not learn his lesson. So have you heard of the Chunkosaurus Rex squirrel contest they do in Texas now?
Chunkosaurus Rex? That's what my wife calls me.
You're on that treadmill, bro. You're good, man. You're good. So it's the first ever Fat Squirrel Week contest in Texas. People dress up their squirrels.
I'm trying to go from Chunkosaurus Rex to Hunkosaurus Rex.
There you go, man. Summer's
3 miles at a time. Just saying.
Summer's pretty much here, bro. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. It says, move over, Bears. Texas squirrels are making headlines now after the state crowned the first winner of the first ever Fat Squirrel Week competition. And which squirrel claimed the title? His name is Chunkosaurus Rex. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department launched the inaugural Fat Squirrel Week on October, and last week they had the first ever event. The state agency stated on Facebook, it's Texas' turn to showcase the fluffiest, chubbiest squirrels in the world, with 16 different state parks participating in the first Fat Squirrel Week contest. Fans of the contest cast their votes by liking, commenting, and tagging friends on their favorite squirrel pictures posted by the Texas State Park site. After several rounds in brackets, Chunkosaurus Rex from Dino Valley State Park faced off with Chunk Norris from Fort Richard State Park. Chunk Norris, I like that. Ultimately, Chunkosaurus Rex became the champion of the first ever Squirrel Week. Here's my favorite part. Many seem to love the competition this year, which was inspired by Alaska's famed Fat Beaver Week.
I mean, whatever.
if you can see it through snow pants, I mean, whatever.
I mean, have you ever had a fat beaver week? I'm just saying. Anybody in the chat ever had a fat beaver week? I'm just saying.
Yeah. In the comments of Dinosaur Valley's post, Kathleen Mongol said, "Was there ever a doubt that Chunkosaurus Rex would be the champion? We get the champ. We get the champ some nuts for this." Yeah. So Chunkosaurus Rex.
Did it show you a picture of Chunkosaurus Rex?
Yeah. Chunkosaurus Rex right there.
No, I got one right there. There's
shit! Look at. Damn, you are quick tonight, bro.
That's what she said.
Way
too many times. But there is Chunkosaurus Rex. He makes me look proud. Love it.
He's great.
That's
awesome.
my spirit animal.
I love it. So
chunk to hunk.
You know, it's really funny. I found all of these stories.
That's really funny.
That is funny. I found all of these stories on Meanwhile in Texas. There's actually a website for all of the links for Meanwhile in Texas. I'm like, this is meant to be. Why don't they have this in Memphis? It would make my search a lot easier. All right, so this one starts out by saying, "We feel violated."
So do I.
Yeah. The thieves steal $27,000 in cattle from a ranching farm in Coolidge, Texas. A Limestone County ranching family says decades worth of work was stolen overnight after thieves cut through the fencing and hauled away almost a dozen calves from their property over the weekend. This man and his son said that their family has operated the calf-cow operation on land along FM Coolidge for decades. I don't even know what that means. We've owned this for about 30 years. Oh shit, my earbuds are really gonna die. That's gonna be cool for the end of the show. Awesome. We were weaned and causing significant damage in the fencing and the pens. Nearby pasture was also reported to be targeted while its owner was hospitalized. Oh, that's cool. The guy was in the hospital, and so they went and stole his cows. So that sounds a little close to home. The family discovered signs that someone had entered with a trailer. My panels that were on the gate in front of this deal, the thieves moved them and ran the cattle back there. You could see the trailer marks where they pulled the trailer away and where they had loaded them. 2 calves were recovered nearby, but 11 heifers were missing. We felt violated. 11 heifers were missing. It's kind of like a fat squirrel thing, too.
Fat squirrel.
Somebody had the nerve to come onto our land, and they just took our cattle.
The wife
talks about how much money and how much they've actually lost. And
the guy's in the hospital. The guy's in the hospital. He's about to lose. He's about to pass. He's going to lose all of his stuff. The wife's like, "Nope, not yet." She takes all the cattle, sells the cattle, gets the money, moves on. Allegedly, we're just speculating. They were stolen. But the wife did it allegedly. Or the girlfriend.
I have a feeling. One more quick one from
Jarvis
Texas.
did it.
It's very possible. It is very possible. One more quick one. Southeast off. Do you know what an HEB is? What does that stand for?
Yes.
It says pharmacy. HEB.
HEB is the largest grocery store chain in Texas. They also have a critical response unit that within minutes they can send it to anywhere in the state of Texas, and it has food, gas, cell phone service, or whatever. It is the most awesome food chain or grocery store chain in the world.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I had no idea when I printed this story off. So Southeast Austin HEB temporarily closed after fire in toilet paper aisle. The HEB Plus on Riverdale. Yes, on East Riverside Drive, you fucked me up, is closed on Wednesday for repairs after a fire was reported in the toilet paper aisle on Tuesday night. Austin, Texas. A Southeast Austin HEB was closed Wednesday after a fire sparked in the store Tuesday. According to the Austin Fire Department, a small fire broke out sometime around 10:15 p.m. Tuesday as a toilet paper aisle at the HEB Plus located on 2025 Eastern Riverside Drive. Responders stated on the scene for roughly 30 minutes before putting out the fire. No injuries were reported. The store was evacuated Wednesday night. light damage. It appears that there was somebody that walked through and literally just lit the toilet paper on fire and then left. And if you have any details on it, please call the local authorities for the HEB toilet paper fire. And the last story of the night, where in the United States, which state is this in?
All right, so guys, in the comments, there's not too many of you left. There's only 11 left. That's crazy. Why the hell is there only 11? But
they don't like my stories because I can't read.
We need you to comment below where you think this happens. What state? All right, Mick, go ahead.
Burglars slam truck into, tells the name of the city, barbershop, taking the money and the owner's cat. Burglars used a pickup truck to slam into the business, stealing thousands of dollars and the owner's pet cat. This video was broadcast on early in the morning. A group of burglars used a pickup truck to slam into a blank city barbershop and steal thousands of dollars equipment and the owner's pet. The business losses from the robbery are around $14,000. The entire front entrance was destroyed and the incident was captured on camera. They also took the owner's cat, whom he described as a member of his family. He's a Savannah cat, so not many people have those cats. And I love that cat. And he probably wanted to sell that cat, and that cat was something to me, said Jose Gomez, the barbershop owner.
All right, so guys, post in the comments below, where do you think that one was from? I'm going to say Arizona. So Coulter says Washington State. Birdline Brotherhood Podcast says Memphis. Robert says Tennessee. The Rob says Arkansas. Cigars with Angel says Los Angeles. Cigars with Angel says California. Money Mass says Arkansas.
If I
Coulter
have,
says Georgia.
dude, I love the fucking feedback on that. That was fun.
That was awesome. I love it.
I love it too. If I had another prize to give out, Angel not only wins, he wins like both prizes, like on Price is Right, because he hit the city and the state. It was Los Angeles, California. Very well done, Angel. Was he guessing? Angel, tell me if you were guessing, or if you actually saw the story. So that's crazy.
Looked it up. He looked
Had to.
All right, so be quiet for 30 seconds.
Oversized truck in the HEB lane, gas station cowboy in a hurricane, armadillo trotting through the parking lot, buggies at dawn and it don't no stop. Meanwhile in Texas, hold my drink, watch me. Meanwhile in Texas, you can't make this up, can you? Meanwhile in Texas, somebody wrestled a gator at a Buc-ee's again. Meanwhile in Texas, only on the Real Smoke Podcast.
You did such a good job. Good boy.
I have a hard time with staying quiet, but now it really bums me out I couldn't hear it because I love that song. I have to listen to it back now. It's great.
All right, so a couple of comments before we jump off here. Let's scroll back just a little bit. A lot of hashtags. That's what she said. Hashtag. Another, that's what she said. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Congrats. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of hashtags in here. Dissident Rocks, we got that one on here. Dissident are fantastic. I think Black Label trailer company quality has gone up since their partnership with Sin and Joss. Just saying, they're no longer a partnership. Sin has left Black Label. Just saying. Loud and clear and here, which means Mick just can't hear shit.
I don't know what happened. Technical
Money
difficulty.
Matt says beach bod. Rob says, I have a beach bod. Whales get beached all the time. Me too. 100%. I'm in shape because round is the shape.
Love it.
HEB, Raul says it means Hispanics eat better.
It is Texas, bro. That's funny. I like it. Some of the best Mexican food I've had.
Robert Brandow, 9034, first time viewer. Great show. great subject. Y'all need to leave Texas alone, though. Not going after Texas. Texas is actually the fourth state that my wife and I are looking to move to when we move. So, love
Just
Texas.
a little insight for you, Charles. That's the guy I spent the whole week with down here, and good dude, man, really good dude, and looking forward to working with him in the future. So I'm excited he tuned in. So good times.
Did you put him in the closet? Is he still in there?
Where'd that come from? I don't think he's in a closet.
You said you spent all the time with him over this
Yeah.
week. So, do you have him in a closet in your room?
No, not here, but where I work. Yeah,
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
So Coulter says, "Hell no, give Texas hell. It's horrible here. Nobody move here. Stay in commie Florida or California." Let's see. Last one I'm going to put on here. Well, let's see. Did not know that. Who's rolling Dissident now? Well, stay tuned. We will talk about that in future episodes. Cannot talk to you about it now. We've been sworn to secrecy, and we've been told that we will be killed by the dissident army if we talk about it. Hope you win the battles you never told no one about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hush.
There were some great comments, man. I was also kind of keeping track here, and between Doc and Josephus and just everybody back and forth about stuff with Josh and Sean tonight, man. It was an excellent episode. I'm so glad they could be a part of it. It was amazing.
Hey guys, we're thinking about getting Sean on here for a in-depth all about him. If you would love that, if you're listening to this now or in the future, go ahead and post in the comments if you would like to see that episode happen, because I think we can. We're also looking at possibly doing a fun music, movies, and mayhem with Josh and Sean. So if you are interested in that, post that in the comments below too. Mick, I usually give you the final word. I'm going to take the final word this time, so I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, man. I think I said most of it earlier. Josh and Sean were amazing. Josh, we've known him a long time. Amazing getting to know Sean. I love his viewpoints and his way of going about things, man. It really resonates with me. It's a lot of the same battles, and it's always good to know another person to have in your army, kind of to bounce stuff off of if you need to. I appreciate both of them taking the time. I appreciate everybody that tuned in, and everybody's going to listen to this in the future. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know I did. We're blessed to do what we do on a weekly basis and get on here with people that, whether it's industry wise or something we don't know much about, or something that we're just trying to get out there, and hopefully it changes a life, man. We're blessed to do this every week, and I hope the work that we put in along the way shines through, and you guys appreciate it and enjoy the journey that we're on. Charles and I are on. So, tune in next week. We got some great people. Next week we have Chev. I always say their name wrong. Help me out here. Chevray.
That's all I know.
Okay. So we have them on. Nick, and I think there's somebody else. But excited about that show. I'm struggling. It's just been a long day. But no, thank you guys for tuning in. Take time this week, smoke a great cigar with someone you love, and we will see you next Thursday. Charles, go ahead.
Guys, Mick is headed home here soon, so everybody wish Mick a safe travel. Huge thanks to our guests tonight, Sean and Josh. You guys are fantastic. At the beginning of the show, we said that, I said that I had a longer intro than normal, but it was worth it. If you missed it, I'm going to play it again at the end of the show. But one of the quotes that's on there that I worked really hard to come up with was, the strongest thing a man can do is say that he's not okay. I'm going to leave everybody with that one. So if you're struggling with something, you need some help. If you're at that point, if you're at that line, call 9888. 988. Talk to somebody. If you've got a buddy, reach out to him. Tell him you're struggling. Talk to your spouse. Tell him you're struggling. But for all means, tell somebody, because it ain't worth it. Okay? So, once again, the strongest thing a man can do is just say he's not okay. Listen to the song, chill out, relax, come back and watch us next week. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Late drive home, empty lane, knuckles wide on the steering wheel. Wear that smile like a shield. Say I'm fine, but I don't feel real. Bills on the dash, open the glove. Family sleeping in the dark. I keep the storm behind my teeth, and I don't know where to start. Thursday night, cigar burns slow on the porch with the boys I know. One more joke, one more lie to somebody says how you been inside. The strongest thing a man can do is say he's not okay. The strongest thing a man can do is speak before he breaks. Some scars don't leave a mark. You don't have to carry it alone. We all break, we all heal, brother. You're not on your own. One hand on the table, one in the dark, laughing while the truth sits still. A hard jaw hides a fractured heart, and a full plate has the void you feel. The real smoke, the honest talk, between the cuts and the bar stool light. No shame in the words you drop when the room turns kind of night. Thursday night, cigar burns slow on the porch with the boys I know. Say it plain, say it loud. A heavy heart can still stand proud. The strongest thing a man can do is say he's not okay. The strongest thing a man can do is speak before he breaks. Some scars don't leave a mark. You don't have to carry it alone. We all break, we all heal, brother. You're not on your own. You're not on your own. If you're tired, let it show. If you're drowning, let it go. A hand out in the night is not the end, it's how you rise. Asking for help is strength, not a crack in your...
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joshua Coburn, and got something important to talk about real quick, and that's men's mental health. It's kind of a big deal to talk about because us dudes never want to talk about shit, right? We tend to keep it in, to bottle it up, push it down, to keep plodding along, keep going, which is important to keep going, to still show up. The problem is that builds up and it gets heavy, and we already carry the world on our backs for our wives and kids and family. And when it gets too much, talk to somebody. Don't keep it stuffed inside. Call your buddy, call your brother. You know, just get out there and try to have the conversation. Even if it's a text, send it along. Tell somebody you're hurting. Let them know you just need an ear for a little bit. It's worth it. We all got to do it. That's real strength. Have a good night, guys.